Hello and welcome. This is Grant Hughes of Grant Hughes Investigates on YouTube. This channel evaluates all aspects of true crime. As you are aware, videos and live streams in this genre often discuss elements of crime that may be disturbing to some viewers. If necessary, take the precautions needed to avoid these feelings. Factual information related to cases is the key to fostering rational true crime discussions. Fortunately, you will find that here. Please hit the like button only once, share the video, and subscribe if you like my content. Thank you very much for watching.
Stupid is being nice. You're an absolute moron.
All right. Where the hell is Benny? Oh, there he is. I can see his head in the lower left, his ears down there. Just barely see him. All right. Well, anyways, we've got some new documents out today. And also, I don't know, maybe in one of these days we'll talk about it, but we covered a case years ago. The case of Jody, I think it's like Heisentrut, something like that. She was a reporter. I think I covered a case in February of 2021. That's how long ago that was. And she was a reporter and she went missing and they thought something happened to her. Now they're going to be releasing some documents coming up here soon on that. So I might have to do a reset when that comes out. But there is breaking news, and now they're not breaking news, but like they're going to be releasing documents. Let's see. Looks like this is what it was right here. That lady, and then this guy's like the main suspect, but they have these like, what was it, ping information regarding the vehicle, some vehicle that he had. So maybe I'll have to figure out, oh yeah, so there's a shoe on the ground, so they think something happened. That's a pretty good indication that there was a struggle outside. I mean, it's not like you would get into your car and drive away with the shoe sitting on the ground. So anyways, you know, might be something to look at here coming up. Suspicious connection blocked. Must be on Daily Mail. All right, well, guess what today is? Another show. So when you're watching this show, I'm sure we won't have a GSU PM type of night like yesterday, but if you guys have the ability to help support the channel on these live streams, we're now only have today, tomorrow, and the next day, and then we have our donation night. And that's where we go out and make a difference. We've already given away $1,500 this month so far. I think we gave $500 to the Abbey and Libby Ballpark, or Libby and Abbey Ballpark, whatever order it is. We gave $500 to NCMEC, and that's National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. And we gave $500 to RAIN, which is Violence Against Women. They also test the backlog of, you know, sexual assault kits. So they do all kinds of stuff there. Just like SS there. Hey, busy schedule, so can't get into chat. Side note, I've lost almost a stone on the wall pad. Watching on here in 2 weeks. What does that mean? On the wall pad? I mean, you're walking while listening and you've lost a stone. What is that, 8 pounds? I'm not sure how much a stone is. Man, you're talking to an American audience in general. What's a stone, for God's sakes? Hey, Donna. Thank you. Very kind, very kind. All right, so we're going to use the Chat GPT again. By the way, this is my, that's still Mortensen and looking through the little crack in the door. Obviously, it'd be darker. I'll probably make another version of this pretty soon here where it's darker. And just not, I'm not going to do the how I have this. I made this for people so they could see the relevant location. You see how you can see way up there and see where Madison and Kaylee were. This is from all the way down stairs, just right next to Bethany Funk's room. Like that's the front door. And then Xana is just right there. And then Kaylee's room is way up there. And then, so I thought it was kind of useful, but then it makes it hard to just kind of, like if you just want to move to a different scene and look around. Like this is, I like it when it looks like that. But maybe darker. Oh yeah, it's 14 pounds, huh? I'm walking and watching. Oh, that's what I should be doing. Do my show while walking. I don't think that would work. Yeah, well, I guess if I did the short shows, it wouldn't work very well for you, right? Man, I have this one person who always sends me the crazy YouTubers that make the videos, and there's this guy that has like a head, tight little head wrap and sunglasses on, and he's just absolutely, he's insane. I mean, literally insane. I don't know what else to say about it, but these guys are just absolutely delusional, much like Cy-Ray. See, Cy-Ray probably once had credibility, like back in the day. He used to work for cops, but now this one's so egregious. He's decided, no, it isn't. You want to be famous because it's a big case, and the prosecution wouldn't use you, so then he thought, ooh, I'll help the defense, right? Anyways, what we'll do is we'll use Chat GPT again to decipher, summarize these longer, kind of dry, and it's interesting because then you ask more questions and they answer it. So that's what we're going to do. I've already done it already. Listen to it. I know what the arguments are. All right, yeah, here we go. So we have, got to go to a different document, different page, about 6 documents. And we'll start off with the largest one on the bottom. Maybe I'll just do it by the size. So the first one here, let me see. Summarize court document in a PDF. Oops, didn't do that right, but they got it. Didn't spell it right. I said inf. And here we go. Let's see.
Here's a summary of the court document titled, Defendant's Notice of Filing Affidavit in Support of Objection to the STIT's Motion in Limine RE, ATANT Timing Advance Records. Summary, filed by Brian C. Kohberger's defense team, including attorneys Ann Taylor, Elisa Massoth, Becca Barlow, and Jay Logston. Purpose, to submit an affidavit by expert Cy-Ray opposing the state's attempt to exclude AT and T timing advance data from trial evidence. Key points from Cy-Ray's affidavit. 1. Expert background, 25-plus years of experience analyzing cellular call detail records. Founded ZX, now owned by LexisNexis, which provides tools to law enforcement for mapping mobile data. Has testified over times as an expert, mostly for the prosecution. Created widely used best practices and training programs in geolocation and call record analysis. 2. Timing advanced data measures the time for a signal to travel between a cell tower and a mobile phone, which can be used to pinpoint device locations. Widely used and requested by law enforcement due to its high accuracy. Can help identify device routes, movement, and power on-off activity. 3. AT&T and FBI involvement. In 2021, FBI agents provided Ray with an AT&T timing advance report. AT&T did not officially provide these records via their standard legal channel GLDC until June 2023. FBI previously accessed such data through internal channels at AT&T, notably via Boyd Jackson.
So I don't know if they're just talking about some random, because this is 2021. The homicides didn't happen until late 2022, and then they're saying AT&T did not officially provide these records via their standard. So maybe he's just talking about in general that kind of data.
An AT&T program director not affiliated with GLDC. 4. Allegations against the state. Defense alleges that the state used AT&T timing advance data in 2022 for over 3,800 mobile devices related to the case, but did not obtain or disclose data for the defendant's device. Emails show prosecutor Ashley Jennings was aware of and actively pursued this data in 2022, contradicting her current motion.
Yeah, but couldn't that just be because he turned his phone off? I mean, so if you're doing it during the crime, like from, let's say you start at 3:20, you go from 3:26 until 4:30, you might not have that data in there. You found the records for all the other cars that were driving around throughout the entire area during a specific time frame. Not vehicles, for cell phones. So like even phones that are in a house or whatever, they have all these phones that are on 3,800 mobile devices related to the case, but did not obtain or disclose data for the defendant's device. Now maybe they could have done it for later and before, so you could have it at 2:53 and then at 4:48 when it's near Blaine. So you could go all the way from that time frame, and then it would show that his phone was turned on again. And so it's weird that they want the state to have data that doesn't exist because he turned his phone off.
Claims the certificate of authenticity from AT&T is misleading. GLDC did not even handle such records until 2023. 5. Expert conclusion. It's beyond clear and convincing that the state had and used AT&T timing advance data, including potentially exculpatory information. The state's motion is described as a deliberate misrepresentation and an attempt to hide evidence and mislead the court. Final statement by expert Cy Ray. He offers to testify and submit further exhibits. He calls the state's actions an unprecedented and deliberate effort to conceal evidence, urging the court to scrutinize the matter thoroughly. Let me know if you'd like a one-page version, visual timeline, or a breakdown of specific claims or technical terms.
Timeline? What kind of timeline? Sure. Give me the visual timeline. Does that actually work? That's pretty amazing how it can just, like, it really actually thinks about what you're talking about. Oh, okay. Now that's his breakdown of his own. Okay. All right. How about what relevance would this have in the Kohberger case if he turned his phone off? Now I know that they do say, well, it's relevant because of this, this, and that. But here we go. Thank you. Great question, he said. Let's see.
Great question. If Brian Kohberger turned his phone off during the time of the crime, why would AT&T timing advance data still matter? Here's the breakdown of why this data might still be relevant and how the defense is leveraging it. 1. When was the phone actually off? Timing advance data can show exactly when the phone disconnected from the network, not just when it stopped receiving texts or calls. This could confirm or refute the claim that his phone was off during the critical window.
Right, but the defense has already claimed that at 2:53 his phone was turned off. So they know that time frame.
Show the exact time it powered off or back on. which is crucial for narrowing his location timeline. 2. Residual connections before power off. Phones don't always go dark instantly. Even seconds before powering off, the phone may still ping nearby towers. Timing advance can give location precision up to a few hundred meters, showing where the device was right before it powered off. 3. Route of travel. If his phone was on earlier or later in the timeline, investigators could track his movements to and from the crime scene area, even if he tried to go dark during.
That's hilarious, because that's exactly what they did, okay? You know, so when he leaves the crime scene, he takes off right here at 4:20 and I think 47 seconds. Drives like this and around. And then he actually goes like this again. And then right here takes a right. Instead of going around like he would normally do, he took a right and kept going straight down, and then a right on Conestoga. I already know the names of these roads. And then down here to Palouse River Drive. Then he drove, and they know that because of the surveillance cameras that didn't pick him up. All right, and then he took this highway, and then if we go and put, let me just put the little towns in there again. Take this highway, and then Blaine is somewhere right, let's see, where the hell is it? It's not popping up on the screen, but it's only like 6 miles out of town. Let's see. Oh, that's not it. Yeah, it's kind of like right up in here. Where the hell's Blaine? Jesus, let me just type it in. That's Blaine County. That's not it. I don't think I spelled it right. Alright, now I have to go turn it all on again. This sucks. Yeah, so Blaine's right there. Okay, so after leaving on this road, he came down and then at some point, you know, pinged near Blaine. So Blaine's just right over there. It's not far. You know, these circles that I made here, those are like 3 miles radius. All right. So it's inside of that. Like there's a tower right here. As a matter of fact, I think that's probably the tower they're referring to that picked him up. And if you're wondering how, I just went and looked them up on a map out there, and you can actually tell that that's a cell tower, right? By zooming in on it. So it probably pinged right there, but it also pinged there about, I would say about 16 minutes later than it should have. And so that means that after the vehicle left the crime scene, it's Kohberger's white Elantra missing a front license plate. And we know that because he actually turned his phone on heading south right here when he felt safe. And so law enforcement would have that time frame when his phone was turned back on at 4:48. Okay, and then they'd also have when his cell phone turned off, apparently at 2:53. And so inside of that time frame is when all the victims were killed. And that's when Brian Kohberger admits to driving around in a white Elantra missing a front license plate. And that same white Elantra missing a front license plate was 1/3 of a mile from the house and continuing on a path, makes its way. And by the way, there's a YouTuber saying that the path doesn't make sense, the timing doesn't work. They're full of crap, okay? Absolutely full of crap. I've driven it, and the timing is really accurate. Okay, now the 6 seconds that they have from the A&W to the Ridge Road house is not accurate. I don't know where they came up with that, but I think that one's off by about 10 seconds. Not that that's a huge number, but right here, they have this at 3:28:56, and then 40, and then 3:50. What the hell was the time frame? What the was 4? No, yeah, 3:29:04 and 3:29:02 over here. So literally 6 seconds after passing here, and you just really can't drive that far in 6 seconds. All right, takes at least, I would say, 25 seconds. So, you know, if you add, or maybe even, you know, I guess you could even say it could do it in 17 seconds or so. So you got to take off. This should be 3:28:46 maybe. You know, not 56, but they're just guessing because it was off by an hour and 30 minutes, that clock. So maybe it's off by a little bit more. Well, not an hour. I think it said a minute 30, excuse me. So a minute 30, so maybe it was really a minute 40 something. But hey, guys, we're starting off the show really slow tonight, so if you have the ability to help support the channel, we are doing this, what we do every single night, so for the support of the channel and what we do at the end of the month and through the month. So if you have the ability to help support this channel, it kind of keeps the energy level going up when there's support going on. You know, hopefully you guys like what I do and you like that I do these shows, etc. All right, so if you have the ability to, that would be fantastic. Because there is no ad revenue on these live streams, even when they play. That's why I rely on the audience to support. All right.
The incident.
Okay, so what else would we ask about this? What's another question to ask here? Let's see. Is Ray credible? Is he gonna know? How do you think, Cheryl Annie? Wow, it's taking a long time to think through this. Boy, it's taking a while. Been a huge fan since Kanika Jenkins. You're so thoughtful. Very proud of you, and it's my birthday. Hey, all right, Cheryl. Happy birthday. Wow, so they don't have an answer? That's pretty weird. It's blank. Oh, there we go. Let's see what it says. Highly credible expert, especially in the field of cellular data and geolocation analysis. Right, that's probably why, maybe that's why they picked him. But he's also, if you look him up, he has, where his information was absolutely discredited in court, and it was hilarious because it was like the vehicle's location data showed it somewhere else, and he was absolutely convinced prior to that, telling people where the car was. Oh yeah, it was over here, it was over here, it was over here. But the vehicle's geolocation data showed it was absolutely in a specific spot, nowhere near what he was saying. All right, but hey, Mary Lou, you got to sing happy birthday for Cheryl Annie.
Who the hell's that?
It's Cheryl Annie. I just told you who it was.
Never seen her before.
Oh, I'm sure she's been around. She's been watching since Kanika Jenkins.
All right, here we go. Happy birthday to Cheryl Annie. Happy birthday to Cheryl Annie. Happy birthday, dear Cheryl Annie. Happy birthday to you.
Are you smoking again, Mary Lou?
Yeah, I have the new cigarettes with Retsin. You know, the new low-cal cigarettes. Gluten-free.
Gluten-free, low-cal cigarettes. All right. That's amazing. Got to get you guys the names in for the spin. So if you send $5 or more in, for every 5 you get more chances to win the spin for the notebook. All right. And think we had the two up there, Donna. And it's not just a notebook, though. It's a stress ball, a pen, and a poker chip. All right. But man, you guys are a tough crowd tonight. Not like yesterday was. All right, let's see. So it looks like they're saying what could challenge his credibility. Despite the past testimony for prosecutors, the state may claim he's now biased towards the defense. They could argue he's presenting a conspiracy narrative without solid proof of suppression or intent. His claims rely on interpreting metadata and communications that may be incomplete or contested. The state may argue he's speculating about why certain data wasn't produced. Not a current AT&T insider. While he worked closely with telecoms, he's not currently employed by them. So some may argue he's interpreting from the outside. Hey, thank you, Von Dazen. I hope the prosecution has a video like yours showing the jury that it's possible to commit 4 murders in 9. Yeah, I have one that's 7 minutes. It's the same. It has the same impact. You're just sitting there going, man, this is taking a long time. This is taking them forever. Bottom line, in terms of qualifications, experience, and expertise, Ray is very credible, potentially even more so. He typically works with law enforcement. Well, that's probably like his little selling point that he makes all the time. And now appears to be calling out investigative misconduct. If his affidavit is accurate and supported by exhibit emails, as he claims, his testimony could be a game changer in court, especially regarding data suppression, chain of custody, irregularities, misrepresentations by the prosecution. Would you like a side-by-side credibility profile showing his history, testimony, and record? Let's see, how about this one? Are there any cases of Ray where his credibility was in question? Because that's out there. If he doesn't find it, then yes, has been questioned in certain legal cases, particularly concerning the reliability of his track software used for cell site analysis. Okay. Court findings, unreliable methodology. The court determined that the track software's methods were completely unscientific and lacked acceptance in the relevant scientific community. The judge explicitly stated the bottom line is that Ray isn't credible. Pfft, then why did you a minute ago said, oh yeah, he's very credible? You know, come on. That's ridiculous. Come on, Chat GPT. A minute ago, I'm going to type in how I would say it. You said he was very credible. Let's see what it says. You're right to call that out, and that's totally fair reaction. Here's the real talk. Credibility is context dependent. A person can be highly credible in one setting and questioned in another. That's especially true for expert witnesses who often become lightning rods in court, both praised and picked apart depending on who's asking the questions. Why I initially said he's credible. Ray has deep expertise in cellular data analysis. He's testified over 100 times, usually for prosecutors. He built widely used tools and trained thousands of law enforcement officers, including at federal agencies. That track record on paper makes him credible as an expert, especially in tech-heavy fields where few people have that level of expertise. But yes, some courts have rejected his testimony. In Colorado versus Jones, the judge excluded his testimony, saying his software tracks lacked scientific reliability. The judge went as far as saying Ray isn't credible. Other experts, like RF engineers, have critiqued his methods, not necessarily saying he's dishonest, but that his tech isn't reliable enough for legal conclusions. Bottom line, yes, Cy-Ray has the credentials and experience. This is pretty funny how it's backtracking a little bit here. Credentials and experience to be called an expert, but no, that doesn't make him bulletproof. Courts have questioned his methodology and even his credibility, especially when it comes to how to analyze and how he analyzes and presents data. In this Kohberger case, the defense is using him not to plot locations, but to challenge the handling and disclosure of key data, which may play better than if he were trying to introduce new location evidence himself. See, that's interesting, right? Yeah. He's not going to pretend, because they don't have an alibi for Kohberger. If Cy-Ray was really that good, wouldn't he be out there proving where Kohberger was during the time that the homicides occurred? And the reason he can't is because they too know that Kohberger's phone was turned off right during that crucial time frame. Wow, what a miracle. Again, he's the most unlucky guy in the world. Isn't it amazing? You gotta admit, think how unlucky it is that Kohberger, he was just driving around and he just happened to turn his phone off between 2:53 and 4:20 and 4:48. So like a 2-hour time frame, he just happened to turn it off right when the murders happened. And then just imagine your surprise when there was this other person driving a white Elantra, missing a front license plate, that was in the same exact area that Kohberger's vehicle was driving in. 0.3 miles from the house, and it was right there. And then just think how weird it is that when the killer went in there, somehow earlier in the day, this killer who drives a white Elantra missing a front license plate must have touched Kohberger somehow, and when the knife sheath fell on the bed, the DNA from Kohberger from an earlier encounter during the day got on that knife sheath. It's absolutely unbelievable. And then think how crazy it is that Kohberger himself purchased a balaclava the same year as the homicides in January, and then just a few months later bought a K-bar knife sheath matching the exact same sheath that was found on the bed. I mean, wow. God, the guy is unlucky. Man, it's just, if I was him, I'd never play the lottery. He has no chance. Yeah. Yeah, just really unlucky guy. All right, you guys, we're currently at 1/10 of the goal. So can you guys help support the channel tonight, or are we just gonna, is this what it's gonna be? There's Naomi Rollins. Thank you. Did you see that the prosecution has phone records that Brian Kohberger's phone pinged? Yeah, I saw that. It's in a whole bunch of documents. 23 times near the home from June to early November. Yeah, I think he went out there a lot and often. And I can just tell you that when I was out there, I got lost many times trying to figure out, because I knew what the loop was. And just to get to that loop, it was very difficult. Hey, thank you, Cinnamon Sin Freak. Yeah, it was very difficult, the looping, just to remember how to do it, or at least the first time. And then the second time it's still hard because you're still trying to get it figured out. And then you can just do it with your eyes closed almost. You're just zipping around, same thing over and over and over again. I'm sure he was there way more. Yeah, well, he didn't turn his phone off. Yeah, maybe, but I don't think so. I don't think he just like they say in the documents, a lot of times criminals, just like Kohberger, they don't think about that because they're not committing the crime that day. So their phone's on and they're even using it to map and plot around because they don't think about it like that. And if he used it 23 times, then he had it on every single time. I would say that if his phone pinged there 23 times, he never turned it off on those trips, because that's already so ludicrously large of a number. Thanks, self-esteem, for some self-esteem. There, I gotta get you guys' names in there. 1, 2. And Cinnamon Sin Freak. And self-esteem. I guess he never thought he'd be a suspect. I mean, 23 times is just so many. I mean, it shows you that he was thinking about them. I actually think there's a possibility he went to that school because he had already identified them, and perhaps he wanted to go to UW, or University of Washington State University, because he, he might have seen those girls, but I think his original thought to go there was to mimic Ted Bundy, who went from Pennsylvania directly to the state of Washington, but he went to UW, I think. Yeah. And I think when he did that, he started scoping out different, he must have thought through it, though. Like, I'm going to just go across the border into Idaho really quick. Thanks, Alley Cake. He never thought he'd be a suspect. For someone so smart, he was pretty sloppy. Well, how do you know? I don't think he's smart. That's the whole thing. I think he's just a regular person. He thought he was such a, oh man, I'm a doctorate student in criminology. I've got it all figured out. I've done this document. I mean, the thing when he did that document, that's probably why. I mean, see, when you go through that whole paper that he wrote, right? That thing that we discussed the other day. Just think about it like this. When you look at a house that has very little DNA or there's nothing in his car, hard to find anything anywhere, isn't he exactly the person you think would be able to achieve that? Like if you were literally, I almost feel like if we could load up that portion of the document into ChatGPT and ask it a question and say, I think we did do something like that. We did do that yesterday, right? I said the portion that was written by the paper he wrote inside of that larger document, and it said, yeah, they'd be good at it. Getting away with the crime because they have that particular knowledge. And that's exactly why he didn't have blood in his car. He even almost described how not to do that. I mean, it was amazing. So, yeah. Anyways, well, let's do another one of these documents. Summarize another PDF file. And if you can hear that, that's my laptop running over here. It's got 4 hours and 56 more minutes to finish the rendering of all of those 33,000 still frames for the animation of route number 3. That one's going to be, 4 is going to be, I'm going to start 4 right after it leaves, after stopping at around when the car parks at around 3:58 or so. That's when route number 4 will start, right at that point. Wow, thank you so much, Pud Money 827. Hey, GSU PM, you never sent me the email of the charity that you were going to do. You never sent the email. Wow, I was hoping I'd turn that on quick enough. Didn't do it. That would have had the avocado dance, but it didn't. I didn't have it turned on. It is now, though. And you have to send the address, too, for your notebook. All right, here we go. I think it might be related.
Here's a summary of the second court document titled Defendant's Notice of Filing Affidavit in Support of Motion in Limine 2, RE Vague and Undisclosed Expert Testimony. Filed March 26, 2025, in the Brian Kohberger case. Purpose of the filing: to support Kohberger's motion to exclude or limit the testimony of FBI Special Agent Nicholas Balance, arguing that his expert opinions are vague, contradictory, and not properly disclosed, and his methodology is not supported by evidence or established best practices. The affidavit is once again submitted by cellular data expert Cy Ray. Key claims by Cy Ray. 1. Lack of transparency in expert testimony. S.A. Balance's reports and disclosures do not clearly explain his methodology, data sources, or analysis. The disclosures evolved over time, but still fail to show how conclusions were reached. The data needed for another expert to assess or challenge Balance's opinions has not been disclosed. 2. Dual role, investigator and expert witness. Balance was involved from the beginning of the investigation, assisting prosecutors and being referenced in nearly every search warrant. Ray argues that many of Balance's interpretations were integral to establishing probable cause. However, those same opinions were not supported by disclosed evidence, and some may have omitted exculpatory data. 3. Missing or omitted evidence. Balance allegedly omitted AT&T handoff data from Kohberger's phone on the night of the crime, November 13, 2022, between 2:33 a.m., which Ray believes is exculpatory. Ray also challenges claims that Kohberger's phone was near...
So look at. See, this is, I bet you, this is bull crap right here. See, this right here is 2:30 to 3 a.m. That's when the phone turned off at 2:53. But it's not exculpatory, just showing that it turned off and where it was. It doesn't mean anything. His phone was near Pullman, Washington, maybe heading, they made it sound like he was heading west or something, right? So what? I mean, 2:53 in the morning. It's easy to get to Moscow, Idaho by 3:26 when it was seen on Indian Hills Drive. That drive is only 10 minutes. So whatever he did, he drove down there and then eventually went back up to the main highway between the two cities. It doesn't matter. So it's not exculpatory at all, man. It absolutely is nothing. And the judge has already commented on this. Something similar. It's garbage.
33 a.m.
Hold on.
3. Missing or omitted evidence. Balance allegedly omitted AT&T handoff data from Kohberger's phone on the night of the crime, November 13, 2022, between 2:33 a.m., which Ray believes is exculpatory. Ray also challenges claims that Kohberger's phone was near the crime scene 23 times prior to the murders, arguing there's no supporting analysis or mapping to back this up. 4. Inconsistent use of drive test data. Balance and another agent collected 500,000 plus drive test data points, but have only disclosed maps for 4 of 24 relevant sectors. Ray claims Balance has the ability and tools to disclose full results, and that the lack of disclosure is suspect. 5. Questionable peer review. Balance's work was peer-reviewed by another FBI agent, S.A. Kennedy. Ray argues that no supporting data has been disclosed to show the review was valid or based on any actual technical verification. Ray has extensive peer review experience and says this review fails to meet field standards. Conclusions by Cy Ray. Balance's opinions were used to support search warrants and probable cause, yet they lack the analytical transparency expected in expert testimony. His omissions and selective disclosures may have suppressed exculpatory evidence. Ray urges the court to consider these deficiencies as a basis to limit or exclude Balance's testimony.
Let's see if I'm going to ask the same question in this one. If Kohberger's phone was turned off during the crucial crime, crucial crime window. How is this relevant?
Totally fair to ask. If Kohberger's phone was turned off, how could this dispute over FBI agent Balance's vague expert testimony and AT&T records still matter? The answer, a lot more than you might expect.
There we go.
Here's why it's still relevant. 1. The phone was not off the whole night. The affidavit points to AT&T handoff data for Kohberger's phone between 2:30 a.m. and 3 a.m. on the night of the murders.
Right.
During the window the crimes are believed to have occurred.
No.
If his phone made any connection during this...
No. Wrong. The crime occurred between 4:08 and 4:20 and 47 and 4:20. I'll just say 4:21. How about that? And now let's see what it says. Hey, thanks, Ali K, for gifting a membership. First one from the night.
You're absolutely right. The core crime window is between 4:08 and 4:21 a.m. on November 13th, 2022. Thanks for calling that out, and that actually makes the defense's argument even more interesting, because Cy Ray's affidavit highlights AT&T handoff data from Kohberger's phone between 2:30 and 3 a.m., which is just before the crime window. So how does this matter? Even though it's not during the 4:08-4:21 window, it can still have serious implications. 1. Pre-crime location. If the phone connected to a tower far from the crime scene between 2:33 a.m., it could suggest Kohberger was not in the area leading up to the murders. Raise questions about how he could arrive at the crime scene undetected. 2. Timeline for travel. If he was far away around 3 a.m. and the murders happened at 4:08, that...
Okay. How many miles? Let's do it. Here we go. Okay, now I'm debating with ChatGPT right here. Okay, so hold on. I'm going to say, his phone was only 10 miles away at 3, I'll just say 3 a.m. Right, and that's a huge in context. All right, let's see.
Right, and that's huge in context.
No,
If Brian Kohberger's phone was only 10 miles away from the crime scene at 3 a.m., and the murders occurred between 4:08 and 4:21 a.m., then here's what that implies. 1. He had plenty of time to get there. 10 miles equal to approximately 15 minutes of driving in rural Idaho at that time of night.
There you go.
That puts him well within striking distance before the murders, so just being 10 miles away at 3 a.m. is not an alibi. 2. Defense needs more than that. The defense can't stop at he was 10 miles away an hour before. They have to show he stayed 10 miles away. Or
hey, you know what's awesome about this is I'm debating with, see, basically what ChatGPT is like one of the Kohbergers who, they have this little sort of vague information. Oh, yeah, and they think they got it all figured out and they lay it out there. But then when you start going, well, no, that's not correct. This is this one. And this is here. Then it starts narrowing it down. And the logic used by ChatGPT is like, oh, shit, okay, well, now, now they're more focused in on how it's a problem for the defense team.
Or went even farther. Or prove the data suggesting he got closer later was flawed, misinterpreted, or incomplete. This is exactly where Cy Ray's affidavit comes in.
Now let's see.
He's not just saying, look, he was far away at 3. He's saying the FBI and state cherry-picked the data to imply Kohberger came closer, but didn't back that up with mapping. Omitted handoff data from 2:33 a.m. that may suggest he was heading away. Gave no explanation for the 23 other near-the-scene pings they claim happened pre-murder, so why it still matters. Even though he could have driven there from 10 miles out, the defense
loading it up. Okay, hold on.
So, why it still matters. Even though he could have driven there from 10 miles out, the defense is arguing. You can't just assume he did, and the FBI's expert didn't prove it. In fact, they might have hidden data showing he didn't. If that hits, it doesn't prove innocence, but it could create reasonable doubt about whether he was actually there at 4:08. Let me know if you want a timeline visualization of where his phone was and when, how long it would take to get there, what data is known versus missing versus contested. Would be a killer visual if you're pulling this together. So, why it still matters. Even though he could have driven there from...
Okay. Let's see. Even if he was heading in another direction, or in the opposite direction, he had plenty of time to turn around after turning his phone off and head to where the crime occurred. If you combine that, and then let's hold on. Kohberger drives a white Elantra that is missing its front license plate. During the, let's see, between 3:30 and 4:21 a.m., a white Elantra was right next, a white Elantra missing its front license plate and even matching, was seen in the area of the crime and even speeding away. How does that affect your logic now? I just want to see what it says. I don't know if I got it all right there, but getting deep into the intersection of phone data and physical evidence.
Right, and that's huge in context. If Brian Kohberger's phone was only...
Hold on. It's this one that I want. Alright, here we go.
Phone. Now we're getting deep into the intersection of phone data and physical evidence. And this is the kind of nuance that really matters in a courtroom. You're absolutely right. Even if his phone data shows he was heading in the opposite direction at 3 a.m., the timeline and physical surveillance evidence make it entirely plausible that he turned around, turned his phone off, and drove to the crime scene. Let's unpack this logically. The Elantra plus no phone equal to the real problem for the defense. Fact, a white Hyundai Elantra missing its front plate was seen multiple times between 3:30 a.m. and 4:21 a.m. in the immediate area of the crime. Fact, Kohberger owned a white Elantra, and his vehicle was missing the front plate at the time. Fact, his phone goes dark, conveniently, during this same window. Fact, the vehicle is seen speeding away just after 4:20 a.m., right when the murders ended. So, here's how that hits the defense. 1. Circumstantial convergence. Phone off, car matching his, right place, right time. It paints a picture that's hard to explain innocently, even if there's no direct location data placing him inside the house. 2.
We're going to add
phone
to that.
data becomes a double-edged sword.
We're going to add to that here in a minute.
The defense wants to use phone data to say, see, he was 10 miles away and maybe headed out of town. But the prosecution says, yeah, until he turned his phone off, drove to the house in a car we can see on camera, and committed the murders, which looks more calculated. The phone being off during the one time that matters, especially when the car keeps going. 3. Turning around is easy. He had time, from 3 to 4 a.m., to go anywhere. Even if he was headed the other way at 3, that doesn't matter if he changed course off-grid. The real legal issue then becomes, does anything disprove that the Elantra scene was Kohberger's? Because if not, it's no longer about where the phone was. It's about why.
Okay, here, I'm just going to skip past this. Inside the house, let's see, on one of the beds was a victim. Now, let's see, on one of the beds of a victim, a knife sheath was left on the bed that had Kohberger's touch DNA on it. Kohberger purchased a K-bar, let's see, victim, a K-bar, this is actually kind of fun, K-bar knife sheath. Kohberger purchased a K-bar knife on Amazon the previous January. No, see, I'll just put Amazon in January of 2022. How does that change your logic? Ah, here we go, here we go. That's a game changer. That's beautiful. There we go.
That's a game changer, and honestly, it changes everything from a purely evidentiary and legal strategy standpoint. You now have direct physical evidence connecting Kohberger to the crime scene. A Ka-bar knife sheath was found on a victim's bed. It contained touch DNA that matches Kohberger. Kohberger had purchased a Ka-bar knife on Amazon in January 2022. So what does that mean legally? This is no longer a purely circumstantial case. Phone data, vehicle surveillance, and even suspicious behavior can be explained away in court. That's what good defense attorneys do. But this is direct physical evidence at the scene. It puts Kohberger's DNA on an object left behind in a private controlled space where only the killer should have had access. Why that's devastating for the defense. 1. Location plus DNA equal to in the room. There is no innocent explanation for Kohberger's DNA being on a military-style knife sheath left on a murdered victim's bed, unless he had been in the house before, which no one is claiming. Somehow transferred DNA via third party, extremely hard to argue here, was framed, which requires a level of conspiracy and planting that jurors rarely accept without overwhelming proof.
This is
2,
awesome.
it completes the chain. The prosecution now has motive, dark psychology, philosophy student, lone male, etc. opportunity, free and mobile at night, means owned a matching knife, presence at the scene, his car, his DNA, his phone off. 3, it explains the Elantra and the phone off. Before, the defense might say, sure, there's a white car, but no proof it's his. Now, with DNA on the sheath, that was him. He turned off his phone, drove his Elantra, went into the house and left physical evidence behind. The inference of guilt becomes exponentially stronger. Defense's position now? They're almost forced into trying to suppress the DNA evidence, argue lab error, contamination, mishandled chain of custody, attacking how the DNA got there, planting, secondary transfer, creating doubt around identity, touch DNA is weak evidence, he sold the knife, etc., attacking the whole investigation for bias, tunnel vision, or misconduct, which they're doing via affidavits. But it's uphill, very uphill. Final thought. All the previous technical arguments about phone data, cell towers, and vehicle sightings are still relevant, especially for trial strategy. But once you add a matching weapon, his DNA, and his car in the area, this case moves into the realm of overwhelming evidence for most jurors. If you were building a visual case theory map, this knife sheath would be the centerpiece everything else orbits. Want to build that kind of visual web showing how the knife sheath ties to everything else?
God, come on. I deserve super chats for absolutely, like, I was playing chess against ChatGPT and won, okay? They started off with this little Siré bullcrap and then worked right through it and then boom! Come on, you guys. That's absolutely, yeah. Make me the visual web. Let's see. Come on, you guys. And there was more I could have said. One of the victims saw him wearing a... one of the victims said he had bushy... What's this one say? Wide Elantra, sheep. Well, let me download this. We can look at it. I do my taxes. I got crushed. Suck. No, that wasn't super chat worthy. All right. Well, there's one person that thought it was. Boom, if you get a chance or want, you can say, make it sound more bro-like. Oh, yeah? I've heard about that. I don't know if I want to do that.
I'll be Chewbacca if you want me to.
Boom. If you get a chance or want to, you can say, make it sound more bro-like, it's good for a laugh.
But here's the funny thing is here's what's beautiful about what we just did right there. It's exactly representative of when you're arguing with a Kohberger. They say the same crap, but when you put it all together, it's overwhelming. But they don't see it. It's amazing. Hey, thanks, M. Morgan. Does it stay bro-like forever, or do you get the just for this one session? Thanks, Annabelle and Moofies. All right, so let's see. We're gonna say also one of the surviving roommates saw a man with bushy eyebrows. However, the rest of the face was covered by a balaclava. Kohberger purchased a balaclava in January of 2022. That's what I meant to put. Either way, the other one was March, is actually when the K-bar knife sheath was bought. Doesn't matter the month though. How does this affect the logic? See what they say this time. It's so hilarious though. They have the same this ChatGPT really just, you know, it's what's cool about it is it understands the significance of a new piece of information. I think that's really interesting, you know. That's actually kind of astounding that it's able to do that. Okay, we're currently at 50% of the goal tonight. So, and we only have one new channel member. Is there anybody out there that wants to get some channel members for some of the people that don't have? Let's see. And
that detail adds even more weight to the circumstantial and physical evidence already stacking up, and it further closes the gap between eyewitness observation and Kohberger's actions and purchases. Let's break this down. New fact added to the web. One of the surviving roommates saw a man in the house wearing a balaclava, with bushy eyebrows visible, the only identifiable facial feature. Kohberger purchased a balaclava in January 2022, so now we have a suspect seen in a balaclava. The suspect had bushy eyebrows. Kohberger has bushy eyebrows,
right,
and he had purchased a balaclava months earlier. Why this strengthens the case against him? 1. Eyewitness description plus owned gear equal to strong correlation. Even though the witness couldn't see the full face, the bushy eyebrows become a critical identifying feature, and Kohberger fits that feature. Plus, the fact that he owned the exact kind of head covering seen in the house, that narrows the odds dramatically. It's no longer just someone in a mask. It's someone in a balaclava with bushy eyebrows, and Kohberger owns both of those attributes. 2. Prior purchase indicates planning. He bought the balaclava nearly a year before the crime. This could be interpreted as premeditation,
right, that's what we were saying,
especially if tied with his bar knife purchase, a habit of acquiring tactical or stealth gear, or at minimum, that he had the means to conceal his identity.
Even if the defense argues, lots of people own balaclavas, it's the combination with the bushy eyebrows, the timing, and the matching vehicle DNA that makes it damning.
Right.
3. Behavior matches the crime scene description. Face covered, seen inside the home. No sign of forced entry pointing to stealth and familiarity. Likely aimed to conceal identity but failed to cover everything. That detailed browse now matters a lot. How it affects the logic now. Your original question was, if his phone was off, how is all this cell data stuff still relevant? The answer is, because it's not about just the phone anymore. It's about a converging pattern of location behavior, phone and car, visual evidence, surveillance and eyewitness, DNA evidence, knife sheath, purchases that match tools used in the crime, knife, balaclava. Want me to update the visual web with the balaclava plus bushy eyebrows plus eyewitness ID piece? It's a strong new node in the map.
Wow. I mean, you gotta admit, like, that's pretty incredible, right? I mean, this is how I think through it. It probably sounds similar to a lot of the stuff I've said over and over and over and over and over again. But it's just kind of cool that it doesn't, it's nice to have it where ChatGPT is going to be logical and use its brain, unlike the Kohbergers, right? So when you're discussing it with ChatGPT, it realizes and understands the significance. And everything that I put in there is a truth. It wasn't some, random idea that, like, they'll come in, well, what if there's this other guy and there's, this other DNA that's on the little blood spat or whatever it was. We don't even know what kind of sample it was. These little blood samples that they didn't test. It doesn't make Kohberger not there. Okay, because he was there. Now, if he wants to say he had some buddies and they got cut or something, well, he can go ahead and come forward, just like Richard Allen could have done that. Hey, thanks up there, Allie Cake, for buying a membership, and K-Me But Gray, and Michelle H. And I don't think we have any coffees again tonight. Yep. Well, maybe we do have one from Sharon earlier. That was very cool. Thank you. Sharon said, as a retired trial paralegal, your work is spot on. Well, there you go. Very cool. But I do get a coffee. It really is 1122. Oh, so what? What's 1122? Another serial killer who wanted to do the crime in advance of a birthday. What are you talking about, M. Morgan? You're not doing conspiracy stuff, are you? No, who cares? If his birthday is 11/21 and the crime scene is 11/22, what relevance does that have? If they were the same, you might question it, but they're not, so it doesn't matter, right? The Kohbergers are probably his fans, right? Yeah. People that believe he's innocent despite overwhelming information against it. All right, let's do another. Any other questions you might want to I could throw in there? Watch your reenactment of his driving route using the maps. Really great work. Yeah, well, thank you. I'm doing the route number 3 now. Pass number 3. That's what I'm working on. Very complicated.
Really great work piecing together the timeline.
I'm not. It's going to be tough to do it, but I'll just figure it out. It just shows. I have the vehicle in that one just stopping sometimes and parking. Because there'll be like 2 minutes of time where the vehicle should have been able to make it somewhere, but it just isn't there yet. It stops, and eventually it drives by. Hey, thank you, Kate and Walker. Awesome. Let's see. I'm at least conspiracy theory person. I asked earlier if anyone thought his birthday was a thing or just a coin. Yeah, I don't think it's a thing at all. And you know how it's not a thing is because if his birthday is 11/21 and the address was 11/22, then you know that's not the same. Yeah, it just. All right, let's just do another one. Nobody has any other. All right, summarize a PDF file. PDF court document.
Here's a summary of the PDF titled, Order Sealing Defendant's Exhibit in Support of Affidavit and Objection, filed on March 28, 2025, in the case of State of Idaho versus Brian C. Kohberger, case number CR 0124 to 31665. Order issued by Administrative District Judge, signature unclear, possibly Judge John Judge or similar. Purpose of the order: to seal Exhibit 1, submitted by the defense, in support of their objection to the state's motion in limine regarding text messages and testimony. Legal grounds for sealing. Idaho.
So I was a little bit nervous at first because it sounds like he granted the courts, they wanted to suppress the text messages. However, he said, yes, I'll grant that. However, you have to provide a version that just removes personal information, but you still put BF and DM for both of Dylan Mortensen and Bethany Font.
Idaho Court Administrative Rule 32I, Idaho Code 74 to 124 1B and C. Content to be sealed. Exhibit 1A and the affidavit of Mr. Roloff. These are likely to contain sensitive materials such as personal identifiers, victim names referenced by initials BF and DM, phone numbers and other private information. Redaction requirement. A redacted version must be publicly filed, masking all sensitive information. Distribution. The order was electronically served to all involved attorneys, including Latah County Prosecutor's Office, Special Assistant AGs, defense attorneys, Ann Taylor, Elisa Massoth, Jay Logsden, Becca Barlow. Let me know if you'd like help drafting a response, motion, or need a breakdown of the legal references mentioned.
Let's see. This was already released, though, wasn't it? Or is this something? This is newer than that. Or is it there? Or is there more text messages? Huh. That's interesting. Okay, that one's pretty self-explanatory. And I guess this is another one here. Let's see. This is from Demonstrative Exhibit and Memorandum in Support. Oh, this might be interesting. Let's just read this one. Thanks, Linda Howe, as in Linda Molden Howe of the Cattle Mutilations and Crop Circles. All right, here we go. Matthew Nodell swear under penalty of perjury that the information in this declaration is true and correct to the best of my knowledge. And this is admissibility of demonstrative exhibits. Okay. I am an adult over the age of 18, and I have personal knowledge of the facts set forth in this affidavit. I am a forensic scientist with degrees in microbiology, medical technology, and forensic science, certification in firearms, tool marks, gunshot residue, and laser scanning. My total experience include over 38 years working exclusively in forensic science as outlined in the attached CV. I have been retained as a consultant by the defense. Oh, this is Kohberger's case. One of my key roles in the case is to assist the defense team in investigating and reconstructing the scene. During the course of my work, well, why would you want to do that? Like, how does that? During the course of my work, I have had the opportunity to observe the scene. I conducted a 3D scan of the scene. So this is the actual, nobody was in the house at the time. At the first opportunity provided by to the defense. The purpose of 3D scanning a scene is to understand and depict the way a scene appeared and be able to troubleshoot that scene in a to-scale manner. It is imperative to acquire the scans appropriately and register, stitch together the scans, right? So it scans in all these different parts, and then you can stitch it together and make one large 3D model that you can move around in. The scans accurately, stitch together the scans accurately to ensure they meet evidentiary standards for further troubleshooting of the events. I am aware that the state has conducted at least one set of scans that depicts only the 2 rooms with the deceased in situ acquired in the first hours of the investigation. Wow, so they did the scan just like I told you, with their bodies in the room. I mean, that's crazy. That's I mean, it's not crazy. That's what they should be doing. I would bring those 360-degree camera to every crime scene as well to get something really quick. Those Faro scans take a while. Let's see. So this is more up my alley. This is pretty interesting. And a report that indicated a second set of 3D scans was acquired on or around November 1st, 2023, but that data had not been produced until recently, March 14th, 2025. Prior to March 14th, 2025, I have been provided with only the early scan data that depicts the 2 rooms in the house. Second 3D scan was acquired. Depicts only the 2 rooms with the decedents in. Okay, so they were in there. Recently, I was made aware that the state had intended to use the previously up-produced data from the second set of 3D scans to build a replica model of the residence and associated topography for trial. I have only recently been provided with scan data and have not seen the final product model or other data the builders of the model intend to rely upon. Why? So you can discredit their demonstrative 3D model? That seems kind of... Let's see. I have only recently been provided with the scan data and have not seen the final product model. I have not been provided with the details as to how the data from the 3D scans will be incorporated into a demonstrative model or how the model may be used in presentation to the jury. Yeah, I just think having a 3D version of the scene is so much better, you know. Why do you want to have a physical model? That's what they did back 100 years ago. I mean, just have it on the screen, a 3D model that you can rotate around and show what, you know. I have concerns about any replica utilized for trial that has not been verified as to scale. Given the unique layout of the house, any misrepresentation of where a wall is or where a door was located or what the actual line of sight was will be misleading and could cause a jury to place significance on something that is not accurate. Utilizing a replica that is not to scale will invite speculation and confuse the jury. I don't know. That's just somebody, that doesn't mean a damn thing what they're saying. In addition, I have been informed that the model will not have any furniture, original materials, or other objects, just like mine, that take up space in the normal layout of the residence. The absence of these features can influence the appearance of spatial relationship as they actually existed and were captured in original photos and videos. While it is unclear at this time the intended use of the model, there are concerns I currently have incorporating such a model. Hold on. Yeah. Hey, thanks, CR. All right, where are we at now tonight? We are currently about 60% of a normal nightly goal. So if you're out there and you like what I do on this channel, if you have the ability to, that's all I'm talking to. If you can't afford it, I don't need an explanation in the chat or anything like that. I'm asking the people who can help support my channel if they would consider doing so, because that allows us to keep doing these shows. And then you'll see here, if you come back on the 31st, you'll see some of the great stuff that we do with a large portion of the income that comes in throughout all of the different, like the ad revenue, the channel memberships, the super chats, etc. All right, so I give away a lot of, big chunks, usually thousands of dollars at the end of each month. All right, so if you have the ability to, that would be great. Yeah, I hope they don't delay it again. It'd suck. I don't think they will. Let's see. The absence of the features can influence the appearance of spatial relationships as they actually existed and were captured in original photos and video. While it is unclear at this time the intended use of the model, these are the concerns I currently have incorporated. Such a model I currently have incorporating... Okay, no. Let me read it again. While it is unclear at this time the intended use of the model, these are the concerns I currently have incorporating such a model at this late stage of the event analysis. Hey, welcome, Sarah Williams. Finally, on March 14th, 2025, I was provided with the data from which the model will be built. This data includes over 100 individual 3D scans that have been stitched together and include not only the residence, but the topography of the surrounding landscape. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, man. Assessing this data will take considerable time, and then, it doesn't, man. It's a freaking 3D model, okay? Let's see. That was pretty cool, wasn't it? Eden Fox, I'm sure you're on Rewind, but that was pretty cool. I debated with ChatGPT and got ChatGPT, because they're logical. They were able to go, yep. Oh, wow. Jesus. Man, that's a game changer. Yeah, he's absolutely toast. I mean, ChatGPT's little graph it gave me should have just been a piece of toast with Kohberger's face on it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so 100 individual 3D scans that have been stitched together and include not only the residence, but the topography of the surrounding landscape. Assessing this data will take considerable time, and then examining the finished product and verifying scale, dimension, and completeness will take additional time on top of that. By way of reference, it will... But why are you looking at it to try to disprove their model? Why don't you use it to make your own model? Or do something with it? I mean, what's your purpose here? Once the download has been completed, the analysis will take approximately 1 or 2 days to access the scan data. Okay. After my analysis of the scan data is complete, I will need to arrange a viewing of the exhibit and a description as to how the scan data was translated into the actual physical exhibit needs to be provided. Traveling to examine the model created and documenting what may be needed to further access it are things that are not built into my schedule at this time. I will need to schedule this additional examination around other commitments previously made and find time to travel from Seattle area to wherever the model is stored approximately 1 day, and then access and document the model on a second day, with return travel later that day. The earliest available times for such turnaround, given my schedule, start around the week of April 7th, 2025, with hit and miss appointments and testimonies scheduled within that time frame. That's right, there's a court hearing coming up here. I'll definitely have to cover that. All right, you guys, do I need to dance a jig tonight? Is this one of the jig dancing nights? I don't know. I don't even know what this is about here. Like, he seems to be whining about, it's gonna take me time. I gotta get up there and everything. And is this what the court hearing is gonna be about? No, I don't. I'm just trying to figure out how I can try to reach the goal tonight. I think I'm producing good material and interesting stuff tonight, but it's been a real slow one. Not really sure. Yeah, I can't. The testimony he's been paid to give. Yeah, well, he wants to testify how the model isn't really accurate because, it doesn't have this, this, and this, and this, and this. And it's like, what difference does it make? All that it does does where the furniture is laid out exclude Kohberger from committing the crime? I mean, I guess that's what I'm asking is, what difference does it make? Hey, look at that. CR gifted 5 memberships to Irish Girl. Courtney Investigates, Whitney Mason. Everybody's copying my, Grant Hughes Investigates. They put the same thing. Then we got Tracy and, there's like 3 people who have done that. 4 or 5 now. Even Vinny did it. Yeah, it's crazy. It has nothing to do with anything. It's just a model, a representative. Like, you could even have a sketch, and it's just a representative of where people were in the house, etc. Let's see. So what do we need here? We need 50 more, and then I donate. If we get 10 more new memberships, then I'll donate 5. There we go. So I guess that could be the goal. I'll make the goal right now. Here we go. Let's see. If I set the goal to can I do it over there, or do I have to do it over here? Let me do it over here. 10 super chats of there we go. All right. There we go. Okay, just put the goal up there. Can we do it? Can we do it? All right. So if we get that there, then I'll do the I'll donate 5 memberships myself. I wonder if the prosecutors watch the show. I don't know. This one, I don't know if they watch my... well, here's what I do know. I know that one of the family members has made Bill Thomas, whatever the hell his last name is, watch my, some of the graphics that I'm doing. And I'm telling you, if you guys go underneath the comments of some of my videos, people say, man, they should have this at trial. They need to use this and do this. Because it really, the way I put these things together, I do it in a way where I know that that's what I would want. When I look at it, I know what I'm seeing, and I go, okay, that absolutely explains it, right? You guys see the goal at the top of the screen there? Right. So I feel like when I make these videos with the animations and everything, they're really purely for... I get frustrated when people don't understand stuff. Like, they just sit there and, you know, like I had a Kohberger say, that's impossible that Dylan could have seen Kohberger. Her room's, you know, and they didn't even know where the hell her room was. They were like completely in a different place. And it's like, no, Dylan's right at the bottom of the stairs, and it's right next to where you would take a right to go into the kitchen. All right, Alley Cake, there's one down. One down. Yeah, I think all they need is a 3D model of the house and have it on the screen and be able to manipulate it and move around and show where people are moving. And I just think it's... I don't know. I don't understand why things like that are argued. And I mean, make your own that shows something different. So the weird part about it is, what would the defense even need a model for? Their guy wasn't even there. What are you going to talk about? Right? Your guy wasn't even there, right? So what would you do with the 3D model? You're just going to say, yeah, so we think this one was killed for... But it doesn't exclude your person, no matter how you look at it. A dollhouse is dumb. I don't know what the hell they're thinking with that. You know, how are they going to see it, for God's sakes? Is it going to be the dollhouse turned sideways with Velcro feet so it can, the guy stands? I mean, I don't know how that would work. See, when you have an animation, it's easy. You just have like the building there. You can actually cut it in half and see through the walls. Yeah, I've already done the 3D with virtual everything. I've done it already. I've made my own. This right here is exactly what this is. I have it on YouTube. If you wear your goggles and watch this video, you'll be able to stand in the room and look around if you want to.
Goal emoji.
You know, and this is just really generic.
Wave emoji.
You know, like right there. This is where, you know, I don't know if this is where they were in the room, but that's what I'm guessing. This is Xana's room. That's the window that goes out to the front parking lot. That's the wall that had blood seeping out of it. That's why I think somebody's over here on a bed, maybe, if that's where the bed was. And, you know, but if you wear the Google cardboard goggles, they're called, you can actually put your phone in it, stand there, and you're literally in this room here, looking around. So, you know, Dylan's room is right there in that little door opening. That's where Xana Kernodle's room is. Up there is where Madison Mogen and Kaylee Gonzalez were, and I'll show you by going to that. See, there's Dylan standing in a room. This is, you know, pretend that's Kohberger or whatever. And then up there is where Kaylee Gonzalez and Madison Mogen were found, and that's just above Dylan's room. So if we just go a little bit further, right there, and go to that one where you can see the wireframe. See, look, right above Dylan's head is where Madison Mogen and Kaylee Gonzalez were killed, and then this is Kaylee Gonzalez's room, but she wasn't in her room. And then over there is Xana Kernodle's room, right? And then right now we're inside of Dylan's room. There she is right here. Now watch this one. I'll move to the wireframe again, and look, right above her head is Madison Mogen and Kaylee Gonzalez. All right, so doesn't that really give you the absolute knowledge? I think what court, who was that today? It was Law and Crime was texting me earlier about, you know, what that GPS coordinates that I discovered of the drop-off point. And I said, well, are you gonna give me credit? I guess, I mean, and they were like, maybe, I don't know. You know, it's like, come on, man. I'm the one, I found it. I put it on there. Nobody would even be talking about it at this point. All right, you guys, we're 2 out of 10 up there on the goal. You see it at the top of the screen? If we get to the number 10, then I'll give 5 memberships, just like CR did a minute ago. And then we've got Alley Cake. And we also have Amber Maiden. All right. Yeah, this is just a, this isn't an animation here. It's a 3D model, and I rendered a it used to have in this program where you could render out the entire walkthrough animation in 360, which was amazing. But somehow they got rid of that. But you can do still frames at each location and look at it in 360 degree. No, I don't mean that, because I don't have 10 new memberships. Those were used at the beginning of the month. Look at this loser who just typed this in up here, this Mo3Gs. They got one of the free gifted memberships. That's totally bullshit. At the first of the month, you get 10 to give away. I've given away probably 100, 200, like I don't even know. I would say this month probably 70 memberships. Okay, but yes, on the first of the month, you get to give away 10. All right, look at these losers that show up like this. You know, they're one of the suckers off of, you know, the social media websites who come in here and steal memberships from other people. Isn't that sick? You got this Mo3Gs up here who came in here and suckered and stole somebody else's membership so they could come in here and be a troll. How disgusting is that, man? Somebody that really couldn't afford it. You get a loser like Mo3Gs show up in here, take somebody's membership. God, you're disgusting. But you're also an idiot, so see you later. All right. Yeah, so yes, on the first of the month, you get to give away 10 memberships. And I usually give those away on that same day. Like, it's just, they're gone, right? Because we reached the goal and I send them away. Every single night that we reach the goal or a certain level, there's a low level goal and then there's the high level. I'm trying to reach it. We're only 2 out of 10 up there. Once we get there, then I'll give 5, and that costs me $25. You know. Although, you know, their membership, so I guess part of it goes to the income to the channel, but it still costs me $25. Hey, thanks, Nana Caroline. So I guess we could say that that's 4. Isn't that crazy? These losers show up like that. They're just such sick people. You know, why don't you tell the idiot that you watch to give a nickel one time to anybody? That'd be great. Thank you. Yeah, believe it or not, you guys, the trolls out there, there's this community of trolls that hate me. They even convince idiot YouTubers to make videos about me, etc., because they don't like the way I am, because I try to raise funds on my show, etc., and they don't like the fact that we've given $235,000 in the last 5 years to true crime related charities. They hate all that stuff. But what they do is they come in here and they sign up for memberships. And a lot of times, you know, not, I'd say like 50% of the time, memberships are given away to these nut jobs. Okay? And they're stealing from people who really wanted to be a member and just couldn't afford it. And I think that makes them disgusting people. And they are. They know it too. When they look in the mirror, they can just see it on their pockmarked faces. All right. Let's see. Maybe research a bit before throwing out accusations. Yeah, I know that every single time they've already been removed from the channel, they'll never be coming back. And they got one of the free memberships, so that's why they. Yeah, sucks. All right, you guys, we have 8 more to go up there. So let's try to reach there in the face of the trolls. Let's do the the anti-troll support for the channel wave. That's what we normally do here, all right? So once the troll showed up in here, that's when the support goes up, and the trolls can go STFU. Yeah, they steal the memberships. It's crazy. Not all of them, obviously, because there's people we see that get them, and they're really happy and excited. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, wasn't that just incredible? That's what they do, you know? Yeah. Well, they don't have any self-esteem. All right, I'm waiting for the anti-troll wave right now. I'm expecting after this wave, well, I'll donate the 5 memberships. And no, they're not free. There's one. CR jumped in again. And we got Lisa Valenzuela on a buy me a coffee. Isn't that amazing that you would take your time, you out there and you steal a membership, and then you make a comment that shows up on the screen? Alright, so now we're at 4. We got 4 of them up there. It should be 4. One of them, yeah.
Anti-troll fund.
Well, we're definitely at 4. And there's 5. Kami. There's 5. Says F. Suze F. That's 5. Even if it says 4, we're really at 5. I know that. God, can you believe that? That's just incredible. But come on, mods, you also got to be a little quicker and remove those kind of things. Very good what? What does that mean? Thank you, self-esteem, for some self-esteem. Yes, it needs to be used to trial. Right. So, I mean, I can all these different scenes that I have. So you got this one. This is upstairs. These are the stairs that come up. Kohberger would have been parked right there. See where I'm pointing? Behind the house. He's right back there. And I can show you on this. And this one. Here. Okay, we're at 5. Yeah, I'm just going to do it now. There we go. And who else? Let's get some new members here. So welcome all the new members out there. We've got Junie just got one. And shame on you if you're one of the trolls that got it. Because that means you're just an embarrassment. Worse than anything you claim I do. I mean, you're just a scumbucket, you know. Yeah, it's weird. Becky Marchin. That's exactly what Becky Patty is. Becky Marchin Patty. Isn't that weird? You have the same, almost the whole name as her. Oh, you sent me a Venmo? Thanks, Becky. Very kind. Let's see. I'm not sure. Does it show up on my phone, or how does that work? I don't know. I don't see it yet. Oh, yeah, there it is. Thank you. Thank you, Becky. That was very kind. Awesome. I wanted you to be able to read it. Which one? Anti-troll support from Justin on a coffee. Lisa Valenzuela didn't say anything. What did you want me to be able to read, Jessica? I wanted you to be able to read it because once those... Oh, I see what you're saying. I don't really care. Yeah, I know. That's right. You're right. I see what you're saying. Yeah, once you delete those, I can't re-look at it again and know what it said. I mean, my mods are busier than most mods, so that's why they're the best mods that you have out there, because every night is like they're in a battle with just a bunch of nut jobs on a nightly basis. So that's always good. Thank you, mods. Yeah, so that's Kaylee's room. And then, so from here, Kaylee's room's right there. And look, there's where Kaylee and Madison are, and there's where Dylan is, just right there, right? And then right down there is where Xander Kernodle's room is. So that's right in the thick of it, but nobody was in Kaylee's room. That's inside of Kaylee's room. And that's her sliding glass door that's just above the kitchen. Hold on a second. That's the sliding glass door that's just above the kitchen patio. So this sliding glass door and the kitchen sliding glass door are identical, just one level above. Right? And then this is in, you know, I guess Kaylee was in the corner, kind of hunched over like that. Madison's probably like that. And then this is Madison Mogan's room, and Kohberger parked on some of those routes, in my opinion, just right over there, up on that parking area. And then the wall, he drove by down that direction when he was leaving. And then this is the stairs that come back down. That's Dylan's room. And this is the kitchen, and there's a sliding glass door that goes out into the abyss. Hey, thank you, Two Curious Cats. Alright, let's go back over to this one. Yep, and so that window right there is the same one that's in Madison's room that we were just looking at. Goes out to the deck there. Dylan's room is right down there. So it's right above Madison's room. Thanks, Jeannie Gaiagoy. She won the notebook yesterday. You get 10 free gifted memberships a month. You know damn well you aren't gifting them. Well, how about this, moron? Haven't you been here all the shows? I've actually gifted 5 memberships probably 20 times this month. Maybe 25. Okay, so that already wiped those out. 23 of them I did. Yeah. God, these people are so stupid. Let's see. And where is that? See, Xana seemed like a... Yeah, she seemed pretty cool. She seemed like a... sort of like a down-to-earth, attractive, just sort of like a normal person, right? And fun, like you were saying. That's not true, Gray. That's what you wanted them to believe. They were working with the cartel. Hey, thanks, Christy. Gifted a membership to Haters Gonna Hate. You're not one of the haters, are you? Haters Gonna Hate, are you? Have to hop off work. Get busy. All right. All right, thanks. Hannah, UK. I thought that was pretty awesome, though, the debate I had with ChatGPT. And as I fed him more information, or her, or whatever the hell ChatGPT is, they were like, oh, wow. Oh, man, that was big time. Let's see, we got another one here. Notice filing affidavit, vague and undisclosed expert testimony. It's really small. Brian Kohberger, by and through his attorney of record, and hereby files the accompanying affidavit of Ray in support. Okay, that must be referring to the other document. Yeah, so what's this one? Oh, that's his the work he's done, I guess. Oh wait, no, that was backwards. Hold on. Got this one. Text messages and testimony. Brian Kohberger buying through his attorney. Yeah, I wanted to take a look at that actually. We had the. Let me open up these files again here. There's one there. So they went, this another document on the text messages. Maybe we can go through these again. Alright, so now it's basically, I think this is the state saying, yeah, the state of Idaho, Latah County prosecuting attorney. Let's have ChatGPT break this one down really quick. Aren't you guys kind of liking the summarization process instead of like reading every word of these long drawn out let's see, summarize legal PDF file. Oh man, there we go.
The document you uploaded is titled, Defendant's Notice of Filing Declaration in Support of Objection to the State's Motion in Limine Re.
Oh, that's not what I wanted. Hold on. There we go.
Here's a summary of the legal document titled, State's Reply to Defendant's Objection to Motion in Limine Re Text Messages and Testimony. Filed, March 24, 2025, or case, State of Idaho v. Brian C. Kohberger. Purpose of the filing. The State of Idaho replies to the defense's objection, arguing that specific text messages and testimony from DM and BF, two key witnesses, should be allowed at trial, either because they are not hearsay or fall under recognized exceptions to hearsay rules under Idaho Rules of Evidence 801 and 803. Key arguments from the state. Most communications between DM and BF from 2:10 a.m. to 4:37 a.m. on November 13, 2022 are either not considered hearsay, not being introduced for their truth, or qualify under exceptions like present sense impression or excited utterance. Examples include DM seeing an unknown male and texting calling BF shortly after. Real-time, emotionally charged messages like, I'm freaking out RN. No, it's like a ski mask almost. Run. Down here. The state maintains these texts. Calls were made immediately after witnessing a startling event, making them admissible. Later communications, morning of November 13th, 2022. Messages like, are you up? At 10:23 a.m. and 11:29 a.m. and BF's call to 9 a.m. are also not hearsay, according to the state. Conclusion. The state asks the court to approve the use of the phone records and statements between DM and BF prior to 4:37 a.m. as admissible evidence during trial. Let me know if you'd like a breakdown of specific texts or more detail on the legal arguments.
Yeah. Wow, look at Alex gifted 5. Tracy Knoll, Sheila Emily, Anna Fields, Violet Sterling, Felicia Daly. Welcome.
Absolutely. Here's a more detailed breakdown of the legal argument the state is making.
Right, let's see what it says. Talk Let's try that. Talk bro like. Not even that. Stupid. What the hell? Let's see.
Bet, let's break this down like we're just talking. So the state is basically saying, yo, judge, the defense is tripping. These texts and calls from DM and BF, they're either not hearsay at all, or if they are, they're still cool under the rules. Here's how they back it. 1. Not even hearsay, bro. Some stuff like call logs, who called who, even stuff like, are you up? The state's like, we're not using that to prove what's being said is true. We're using it to show when it happened or how freaked out they were. So it's more about vibes and timing, not facts. 2. Okay, yeah, some stuff is hearsay, but it's allowed. They hit 2 big exceptions. Present sense impression. Basically, I'm describing what I'm seeing right now. Like if DDM. Saw the masked dude and immediately hit up BBF saying WTF, that's present sense. Excited utterance. I'm freaking out from what just happened. Stuff like, I'm freaking out RN. He had something over his mouth. Run. Come to my room. All of that is classic panic mode. And the law says you can use that because people don't usually lie when they're scared out of their mind. 3. Look, we're not trying to sneak in extra drama. They're only trying to admit messages from like 2:10 to 4:37 a.m. when it all popped off. Anything after that? Meh. State says it's not the point right now.
Awesome.
Defense can ask about it later in court. 4.
Thank you so much.
Just let us play these at trial and we'll keep it moving. They want the judge to give a green light before trial starts, so they're not arguing every 2 seconds when DM or BF takes the
God.
stand. If you want, I can tell you how the defense might clap back, or what kind of judge would buy this.
Yeah. How would the defense clap back? Right.
All right, here's how the defense might clap back at the state's motion like, nah, this ain't real time, it's reflective, not reactive. They'd argue. DDM didn't send those texts or make those calls while seeing the guy it was after. She had time to think, maybe even second guess or misremember. That challenges both. Present sense impression, too delayed. Excited utterance, not as spontaneous as claimed. Basically, if she had time to send 10 plus messages and call multiple people, she wasn't in that freakout zone the rule is meant for. They're building a narrative, not presenting facts. They could say, the state is cherry-picking these texts to create an emotional picture for the jury, not to present reliable evidence. It's storytelling, not testimony. That's a shot at relevance and prejudice under Rule 403. Even if some of this is technically admissible, it's more prejudicial than probative. Translation. It'll sway the jury too much with drama, not facts. Some of these texts are just gossip or speculation, like, Xana was wearing all black. It's like a ski mask. No one is answering. Defense might argue. They're guessing, not describing facts, and they're wrong in parts. Letting this in just spreads confusion. What about the texts the state didn't include? They could press. If we're going to look at their mindset, let's look at all the messages, not just the scary-sounding ones. What else were they saying on Snapchat or
I wanna
Instagram that
see that.
morning? That opens the door to a fuller context, maybe showing they weren't as scared as the state says, or were texting about
I think she was on Snapchat because I think she was trying to see if Madison and Kaylee or Xana were on Snapchat messaging, just checking it to see if they were saying something, because she didn't want to go check herself.
totally unrelated stuff. Let the jury hear it live, not read it on paper. Defense might say, don't rule on this now. Wait till DDM and BBF testify, then you can judge if they were really under stress. Otherwise, you're guessing. That's a way to argue against PPP or e-trial approval in Limine. Force the state to prove spontaneity at trial. Want me to turn that into a mock courtroom-style statement or write it like Ann Taylor might file it?
Nah. You know what I want to do is go back to my original argument that I had with him. Wait, where is that? Don't I have it right here? This is the first one? All right, how about, now that was Cyray. No, that was not what that was about. Okay, yeah, that was the visual. Oh yeah, look at this. That's gonna be great. Woo! Yeah.
Absolutely. Here's the bro-style breakdown of everything we just mapped out. All right, bro, here's how it's all stacking up. So boom, they find a K-bar knife sheath on the bed next to a murdered victim. That's already sketch. But guess what? Kohberger's DNA is on it. Yeah, not just some DNA, his, not in the house, just on the weapon sheath chilling on the bed. Now let's back it up. What else we got? My dude bought that exact kind of knife back in January 2022 on Amazon. That ain't random. He also bought a balaclava. Same kind of thing the surviving roommate said the guy was wearing. All she could see were bushy eyebrows, and bro, Kohberger's eyebrows are basically a logo. A white Hyundai Elantra, no front plate just like his, is seen creeping the block between 3:30 and 4:20 a.m. Same car is seen peeling out right after the murders. Meanwhile, Kohberger's phone is like, nah, I'm out, turned off exactly when all this is going down. And then what? That same dude, with the matching car, matching knife, matching headgear, and matching eyebrows, has no alibi. Not just weird vibes, we're talking forensic-level receipts. So what's the vibe? This ain't just, well, maybe. Its phone goes dark, cars on camera, DNA's at the scene, and the man's literally shopping like he's prepping a stealth op. You'd need a full Marvel-level twist to explain all that away. Want this whole vibe as a graphic for a TikTok or Insta slide? Just say the word, bro.
That is freaking... Hey, thanks for having me try that earlier, M. Morgan. That is so perfect, man. It's just... Oh, my God. And that was all derived from an argument. If you weren't here at the beginning of the show... we put in the Sci-Ray stuff, and I said, well, what about this, you know? What about this piece of information? What about this and this and this? And I kept convincing ChatGPT over time. They were like, oh, crap, you know? But now I had them do the bro voice, and it's just a hell of a lot. Let me see if I can have it. Let's see. Rewrite. I'm going to see if I can do it again. All right, let's see. Look, that's why it's looking cooked. This is so awesome. It's almost...
Say less, bro. Here's the full breakdown. Straight up courtroom meets true crime podcast meets gym locker room. Yo, bro, let me tell you why this case is looking cooked for Kohberger. So picture this. Crime scene's wild. 4 college kids murdered in the middle of the night. No forced entry. It's stealthy. It's brutal. Then boom, they find a K-bar knife sheath just chilling on the bed next to one of the victims. And guess what's on that thing? Kohberger's DNA. Yeah, bro, not just trace like solid touch DNA on the snap. That's the kind of stuff that makes prosecutors light up like a Christmas tree. Now here's where it gets even sketchier. In January 2022, my guy hits up Amazon and buys, wait for it, a K-bar knife, the exact same kind that fits the sheath. Oh, and while he's at it, he grabs himself a balaclava, you know, classic I'm up to no good shopping list. Now hold that thought. Eyewitness time. One of the surviving roommates? She wakes up and sees a dude in a black balaclava just casually leaving the crime scene. She can't see the face, but she gets a good look at the guy's eyebrows. And yo, she says they were thick, bushy, unforgettable. Tell me that ain't Kohberger's Face ID right there. His eyebrows got their own zip code. The Elantra situation. Even worse for him.
What? Oh, man, where's Zozo when you need her? His eyebrows have... I got to make a video of this one. Don't you think? I mean, this is ridiculous. His eyebrows have their own zip code. That is amazing. Oh, shit. Where,
Between 3:30 a.m. and 4:20 a.m., right when this whole thing goes down, a white Hyundai Elantra is seen in the area multiple times. It's got no front plate. It's creeping around like it's casing the house. Then at like 4:20-something, it's seen speeding away like it's late for a getaway driver tryout. Now guess who owns a white Elantra that's missing its front plate? You already know, bro. But wait, phone data? Oh yeah, homie's phone was on earlier in the night 10 miles out at like 3 a.m. Then, poof, phone goes dark. Right when the murders go down, no signal, no pings, no texts, nothing. Turns back on after the murders. That's not. All of it together. Bought the knife, bought the balaclava, left DNA on the sheath, matched the eyewitness description, drove the matching car, turned the phone off at the perfect moment. Car seen fleeing the scene. No alibi. And he's supposed to be this smart PhD guy in criminology, but made rookie mistakes that left a paper trail to literally everything. Bro, how do you even defend that? You can't say it's a coincidence when the knife, mask,
man.
DNA, car, timeline, and physical description all line up like a crime scene. Connect the dots. Defense is going to have to go with something wild like, someone planted the DNA. It was a different Elantra with identical features. Eyebrows are common, man. He collects combat knives and tactical gear for fun. But come on, bro. That's not just smoke. That's a need. I got you, King.
That's a whole 5-alarm. Hey, I gotta play that one again. But look, hey, you gotta admit, man, that's exact. These right here are Kohberger. This is what they do. You see it right there. Look, someone planted the DNA. It was a different Elantra with identical features. Eyebrows are common, man. He collects combat knives and tactical gear for fun. That's what the Kohbergers say. Man, that is incredible. And you know what's amazing is, like, even though it's rewriting it all these times, it absolutely kept the logical information in order. Unbelievable. Let's do this again.
Say less, bro. Here's the full breakdown, straight up.
Let's see. Let me see if I can do it again. Add even more sarcasm and detail. All right, let's see. Come on. I like this. What do you call it? The descriptors. You know. Come on, you guys. Isn't this super chat worthy? This is good stuff. There we go.
Bet, bro. We're going full sarcastic true crime roast mode on this one. Detail cranked, sarcasm dialed in, and we're throwing shade like it's cross-examination at WrestleMania. Yeah, bro, I'm just a totally innocent criminology PhD who accidentally left my murder gear at the scene. No big deal. All right, so check this. It's November 13th, 2022. Early morning, real chill vibes unless you're inside that house in Moscow, Idaho, where 4 people just got brutally murdered. Cops roll up, start processing the scene, and what do they find? Oh, nothing major. Just a military-grade Cobb bar knife sheath left on the victim's bed. Like the killer said, souvenir for you. Enjoy the DNA. They test it, and bam. Kohberger's touch DNA is right there on the snap button, like it was waiting to be discovered with a neon sign that said property of Brian. But wait, there's more. 'Cause our guy's been pre-ordering guilt. This wasn't just some rando with a taste for tactical cosplay. Back in January 2022, my man hits Amazon and buys a Ka-Bar combat knife, just for fun. You know, nothing screams normal hobby like battlefield weaponry. A black balaclava, because apparently, how to look like a suspect 101 was part of his syllabus. Bro's Amazon cart looked like a starter kit for Call of Duty, real-life edition. Eyewitness time, aka the bushy brow bandit. One of the surviving roommates? She opens her door in the middle of the night and sees a guy dressed in black, face fully covered by a balaclava, except the eyebrows. She remembers them. Thick, bushy, eyebrows that don't quit. Not kind of bushy, like Instagram filter level brows. The kind that enter the room 5 seconds before he does. And wouldn't you know it? Kohberger's face is like 75% eyebrow. Enter the most wanted Elantra in America. Between 3:30 and 4:20 a.m., a white Hyundai Elantra with no front plate is seen circling the neighborhood like it's Ubering for death. Caught on surveillance cameras. Seen repeatedly near the house. Speeding away from the crime scene right after 4:20 a.m. And bro, who just so happens to own a white Elantra missing its front plate? Yeah, Brian, our bald-faced eyebrow king. Phone goes ghost like it's ducking a toxic ex. Earlier that night, his phone's pinging like normal, about 10 miles away. Then, goes totally dark. Not a text, not a ping, not a Snapchat ghost emoji, nothing. Goes off before the murders, turns back on after the murders. What a convenient little blackout. Defense gonna say what? Oh, he just likes to conserve battery life during the witching hour? Miss me with that, bro. This ain't airplane mode. This is alibi avoidance mode. Let's tally the coincidences like it's a murder-themed bingo card. Bought the exact knife, bought the exact headgear, has the exact bushy eyebrows, has the matching car, phone goes dark during the crime. DNA's on the murder weapon sheath. Car seen speeding from the scene. No alibi. Majoring in freaking criminology. This dude literally studied how not to get caught and did everything you're not supposed to do. Genius's defense strategy? At this point, defense gotta go with the sheath was planted by the knife fairy. Those weren't his eyebrows, they were prosthetics. Coincidence. Lots of people drive suspicious Elantras, wear balaclavas, own combat knives, and leave DNA at murder scenes. He's just a misunderstood academic with a flair for tactical aesthetics. Bro, come on. This isn't. It's delusional. Want this turned into a courtroom roast script. A.
What does that mean? Sure. Turn it into a courtroom roast. What do you call it? Script. Man, that was his eyebrows entered the room. What would he say? 5 seconds before he did. How the hell, man? Zozo missed out, man. That is like her shit right there. Oh my god, that was unbelievable. Well, no, it knows it because I fed it a document, and I argued with it, and this is what the logic came up with this, and now I asked it to speak this way.
Bandit, rolling on the floor laughing emoji.
Yeah.
Rolling on the floor laughing emoji.
Hey,
rolling
thanks,
on
Cheryl
the floor
Moran.
laughing emoji.
Oh my god, you guys. Cheryl Moran gets it 5. Alright, here we go. Courtroom roast. The people versus Brian Kohberger. Let's see how this goes. Man, I'm a huge fan of this ChatGPT though, man. It's like unbelievable. Alright, let's see. Hold on.
Absolutely, bro. Here's your courtroom roast script version. Picture it being delivered by a savage defense attorney who's just done with the nonsense, or a prosecutor with the swagger of a stand-up comic dropping heat in closing arguments. Courtroom roast. The people versus Brian Kohberger. Bangs gavel. Judge, counsel, you may proceed with closing. Prosecutor. Thank you, Your Honor. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, buckle up. Exhibit A. The sheath heard round the world. You know what most murderers don't do? They don't leave their knife sheath on the victim's bed like it's a hotel welcome gift. But this guy? He leaves a bar combat knife sheath sitting pretty on a blood-soaked comforter with his touch DNA on the snap. Just a little calling card like, hey, just in case you were wondering who did this, it's your boy Brian. Exhibit B, DNA, the universe's receipt. This wasn't some rando DNA. This wasn't, oh, maybe they brushed against each other once at a Starbucks. This was on the weapon accessory, in a house he had no reason to be in, next to a victim he didn't know. Explain that. Go ahead, I'll wait. Exhibit C, the Murderer Starter Pack Amazon Edition. In January 2022, Brian hops on Amazon and buys a bar knife, a black balaclava. Because apparently the guy's New Year's resolution was become prime suspect in a quadruple homicide. He didn't just fall into suspicion. He one-click primed his way into it. Exhibit D, the brows that spoke. Now, let's talk about the roommate who survived. She opens her door and sees a man wearing a black balaclava, face covered, except the eyebrows. Thick, bushy, iconic. She didn't see a full face, but she saw those brows, and guess who's got the most memorable forehead foliage in Pennsylvania? Yeah, the defendant. His eyebrows walk into court 3 seconds before he does. Exhibit E, fast and furiously guilty. Meanwhile, around the same time, a white Hyundai Elantra, no front plate, is spotted casing the neighborhood between 3:30 and 4:20 a.m., right when the murders are happening. Then boom, cars seen hauling out of the area at high speed right after 4:20. And what do we have here? Oh wow, the defendant owns a white Elantra, missing the front plate, registered to his parents, and he drove it across the country a few weeks later like he's in a witness protection speed run. Exhibit F, the Great Cell Phone Disappearing Act. At 3 a.m., his phone is pinging 10 miles out, cool, cool. But then, goes completely dark. Like, oh snap, time to ghost the cops in real time. Phone stays off through the murder window, and magically comes back on after the killings. That's not coincidence. That's calculated. That's, I know what cell tower triangulation is because I'm literally a PhD student in criminology calculated. Let's stack this up. Knife, bought it. Mask, bought that too. Matching car, yup. DNA on the sheath, absolutely. Phone off during crime, you bet. Car fleeing scene, caught on cam. Eyebrows, unmistakable. Alibi, Mia. And what's the defense gonna say? The sheath just wandered in there on its own. The DNA planted itself like a housewarming gift. The Elantra? Just another white car with no plate in the right place at the right time. The eyebrows? Circumstantial. Bro, stop. That's not a defense, that's a Netflix true crime parody. Final word to the jury. This case doesn't require you to connect dots. The dots are glowing, screaming, and spelling his name in bold font. This isn't a mystery. This is a checklist, and the defendant checked every box. Guilty. As charged. Mic drop. Let me know if you want this delivered in voiceover format, turned into a video script, or adapted into a podcast opening monologue. I'm telling you, this could go viral in 10 seconds flat.
Yeah.
Picture it being delivered by a savage defense attorney who's just done with the nonsense, or a prosecutor with the swagger of a stand-up comic dropping heat in closing arguments. Courtroom roast, the people
Let's start it over again. Yeah, give me voiceover format. Let's see how that does it. Absolutely. So let's see. Yeah, I think I got to put that one on. The one that was funny to me was the funniest one was the one before. Is it up here? Not the courtroom roast. It was the this one right here.
Bet, bro. We're going full sarcastic true crime roast mode on this one. Detail cranked, sarcasm dialed in, and we're throwing shade like it's cross-examination at WrestleMania. Yeah, bro, I'm just a totally innocent criminology PhD who accidentally left my murder gear at the scene. No big deal. All right.
Here, I'm going to record this. Nah, I'll do it later. I can just take the text out of that.
Alright, so check this. It's November 13th, 2022. Early morning, real chill vibes unless you're inside that house in Moscow, Bet, bro. We're going full sarcastic true crime roast mode on this one. Detail cranked, sarcasm dialed in, and we're throwing shade like it's cross-examination at WrestleMania. Yeah, bro, I'm just a totally innocent criminology PhD who accidentally left my murder gear at the scene. No big deal. Alright, so check this. It's November 13th, 2022. Early morning, real chill vibes unless you're inside that house in Moscow, Idaho where 4 people just got brutally murdered. Cops roll up, start processing the scene, and what do they find? Oh, nothing major. Just a military-grade Cobb bar knife sheath left on the victim's bed. Like the killer said, souvenir for you. Enjoy.
Let's see. What's this section called again? Let's see. Do bro mode again with sarcasm and let's see, and more detail, and let's see, and pronounce K. Wait, no, that doesn't work like that. That's not. ChatGPT isn't reading it. It's this program on this. That's so ChatGPT is not reading it. It's a different program that I have connected to Chrome. Let's see, more detail and pronounce. Maybe it will still work though. Pronounce K-bar as K-bar. Alright, let's see if that can fix that.
You got it, bro. This one's gonna be max bro mode, extra sarcasm, and full-blown drama with detail. And yeah, we're pronouncing that bad boy like it's written, K-bar. This is the kind of voiceover that makes people put their burrito down and say, yo, no way. Voiceover, the K-bar Chronicles, Kohberger's how-to guide on getting caught. Cue dramatic music like true crime meets action movie trailer. Voiceover, sarcastic bro, yo. So let me hit you with one of the wildest self-snitch stories in modern crime history. We've got Brian Kohberger, a criminology PhD student, also known as Mr. I study crime, so I'll definitely get away with it. Plot twist? He did everything you're not supposed to do. Like, he turned How Not to Get Caught, Volume 1, into his personal to-do list. Alright, so check this out. We're at the scene of a quadruple homicide. Brutal, silent, horrifying. And what's just chillin' there, on a victim's bed? A K-bar knife sheath, military style, tan, tactical, left behind like it was on display at REI. But wait, it gets spicier. On the little snap button of that K-bar sheath, Brian Kohberger's DNA. Bro didn't just leave a clue. He left a biological autograph. Now let's rewind to January 2022, almost a full year before the murders. What's our boy Brian doing? Oh, just casually browsing Amazon like, yeah, I'll take one K-bar combat knife. And ooh, a black balaclava too, just in case I want to cosplay as suspicious guy in a driveway at 4 a.m. Straight up criminology major starter pack. Fast forward to the night of the murders. A surviving roommate wakes up, opens her door, and sees a man in black, wearing a balaclava, just casually walking through the house like it's his shift at Murder Depot. She doesn't see his full face. But guess what she does see? Bushy. Eyebrows. Eyebrows so memorable they could apply for a driver's license. And if you've seen Kohberger, yeah, bro, man's got forehead forests. Those brows are built different. They enter the courtroom before he does. And now, cue the white Elantra arc. Between 3:30 and 4:20 a.m., a white Hyundai Elantra with no front plate is seen lurking around the crime scene like it's shopping for alibis. Then, right after 4:20 a.m., and guess what? Kohberger. No front plate, registered to. He drove it across the country days later like he's... But hold up, you want peak sketch? Phone goes dark. At 3 a.m., then, boom. Dead silence. Not a ping, not a text, not a breath. Phone's like, and just as. Hi, I'm back. Yo, what are? A criminal... Voiceover, the K-bar Chronicles, Kohberger's how-to guide on getting caught. Cue dramatic music like true crime meets action movie trailer. Voiceover, sarcastic bro, yo. So let me hit you with one of the wildest self-snitch stories in modern crime history. We've got Brian Kohberger, a criminology PhD student, also known as Mr. I study crime, so I'll definitely get away with it. Plot twist? He did everything you're not supposed to do. Like, he turned How Not to Get Caught, Volume 1, into his personal to-do list. Alright, so check this out. We're at the scene of a quadruple homicide. Brutal, silent, horrifying. And what's just chillin' there, on a victim's bed? A K-bar knife sheath, military style, tan, tactical, left behind like it was on display at REI. But wait, it gets spicier. On the little snap button of that K-bar sheath, Brian Kohberger's DNA. Bro didn't just leave a clue. He left a biological autograph. Now let's rewind to January 2022, almost a full year before the murders. What's our boy Brian doing? Oh, just casually browsing Amazon like, yeah, I'll take one K-bar combat knife. And ooh, a black balaclava too, just in case I want to cosplay as suspicious guy in a driveway at 4 a.m. Straight up criminology major starter pack. Fast forward to the night of the murders. A surviving roommate wakes up, opens her door, and sees a man in black, wearing a balaclava, just casually walking through the house like it's his shift at Murder Depot. She doesn't see his full face. But guess what she does see? Bushy. Eyebrows. Eyebrows so memorable they could apply for a driver's license. And if you've seen Kohberger, yeah, bro, man's got forehead forests. Those brows are built different. They enter the courtroom before he does. And now, cue the white Elantra arc. Between 3:30 and 4:20 a.m., a white Hyundai Elantra with no front plate is seen lurking around the crime scene like it's shopping for alibis. Then, right after 4:20 a.m., that same Elantra is caught flying out of town like it just remembered it left the oven on. And guess what? Kohberger owns a white Elantra. No front plate. Registered to his parents. He drove it across the country days later like he's in a true crime road trip documentary. But hold up. You want peak sketch? Phone goes dark. At 3 a.m., it's pinging 10 miles out. Then, boom, dead silence. Not a ping, not a text, not a breath. Phone's like, nah bro, I don't exist right now. And just as suddenly, after the crime, ding. Hi, I'm back, yo, what are the odds? A criminology student, a dude who literally teaches about cell phone tracking, thinks he can just turn it off and go stealth mode. You're not Jason Bourne, my guy. You're not slick. You're basically giving cops a commercial break. Let's run the totally innocent checklist. Bought the knife? Yup. Bought the balaclava? Absolutely. Eyewitness saw a dude wearing that exact gear? Mm-hmm. Dude had mega brows? Check. DNA on the K-bar sheath? Oh yeah. Matching car creeping the scene? That too. Car seen bolting after the murders? Bingo. Phone conveniently goes dark during the crime? Textbook. No alibi? Of course not. And bro, all of this from a guy with a master's in criminology who's working on a PhD. Bro, you were supposed to study the criminal mind, not speedrun your own conviction. And what's the defense strategy gonna be? It wasn't his knife, someone else left a K-bar sheath with his DNA on it, and another guy with big eyebrows in the same Elantra committed the crime. Sure, January. Dramatic pause, this ain't a whodunit. This is a he done it, and he gift-wrapped the receipts case. Case closed, my dude. Drop gavel sound, music fades, cue true crime theme sting. Want me to actually voice this for you? I can record it in different tones, true crime serious, sarcastic bro, or podcast host. Just say the word and we'll get this content rolling. Voiceover, The K-Bar Chronicles, Kohberger's how-to guide on getting
Want me to actually voice over for you? I can record at different tones, true crime, serious. Yeah, record, let me see what they come up with. Record voice over in sarcastic bro voice. All right, let's do it. Is it going to make me an MP3 file that I can download? Oh. Let's see. You can't do it. But I can give you a ready to record script. You can or a voice actor can read it full sarcastic. Yo, so picture this. We're at the scene of a quadruple homicide. Tragic, horrific. Tragic, horrific, silent. And what's casually chilling there on the victim's bed? A K-bar knife sheath. Yeah, bro. Military grade. Tan. Tactical. Vibes. Just sitting there like it paid rent. And whose DNA is on it? Brian freaking Kohberger. Touch DNA on the snap of the sheath. Like, hey cops, here's a personalized receipt with my name on it. But wait, it gets juicier. Back in January of 2022, what's our guy Brian doing? What's our guy buying at Amazon? A K-bar combat knife and a black balaclava. Because nothing says I'm totally not a murderer like shopping for tactical gear while getting your criminology PhD. My dude's Amazon cart looked like he was prepping for a real-life episode of Criminal Minds. Oh, God. What's the part about bushy eyebrows. Thick enough to qualify as an emotional supply. They changed it up on me here. Bushy eyebrow. Man, this is so funny, man. thick enough to qualify as emotional support animals. And if you've seen man, I'm telling you, this is like this feels good. It's good to laugh some a little bit here. Bushy eyebrows, thick enough to qualify as emotional support animals. And if you've seen Kohberger, yeah, eyebrows for days. Those things show up to court before he does. Let's talk Elantra. Between 3:30 and 4:20 a.m., a white Honda Elantra with no front plate is seen lurking around the crime scene. Then, or seen, what does it say? Seen then, it says right, or then, and right after the murders, boom, it's caught speeding away like it's late for a parole hearing. Guess who owns a white Elantra with no front plate? Yeah, Brian, again. Oh, and the phone, bro. Pinging 10 miles away at 3 a.m. Then poof, goes dark during the murder window. No texts, no calls, no pings, nothing. Phone comes back online after the crime like, hey, I'm back. Just missed a quadruple homicide. What did I miss? Dude got a PhD in criminology and thinks turning his phone off makes him invisible. Man, this is the greatest. Man, it's just. Bro, you're not Jason Bourne. You're walking digital breadcrumb. Oh my God, man! It's like they just wrote this for me, man. It's the greatest thing in the world. Eyebrows are, and the fence is going to say, "What? Eyebrows are common. The sheath must be wandering on its own. Maybe the killer borrowed his car." I can't do this, man. Oh God, damn. I gotta I'm just like teary-eyed. This is just crazy. Oh my God. Yeah, I gotta put this out there as a like a video. I mean, it was the greatest thing I've ever seen. I should probably edit this show for the part where we ask the questions and then cut out the rest until we switched over to.
Rolling on the floor laughing emoji.
Oh my God!
Rolling on the floor laughing emoji. Rolling on the floor laughing emoji.
It's funny because it's absolutely nailing it
Rolling on the floor
with the same logic that normal people use.
Emoji. Rolling on the floor laughing emoji.
Oh God!
Rolling on the floor laughing.
Oh my God! I don't know. It's hard to stop laughing. It just. I'm not even stoned either. It's like it's just that part about the eyebrows. My God, it's literally the funniest thing I've ever heard. You know. Oh, where's that part? I mean, even this part's funny. The one at Amazon. Okay, let me say the let's see the K-bar was actually purchased in March. Can you add that? Let's see what it does this time. Oh, shit. Oh my God, that was just... Okay. Is that the script the same thing? Does it do it? Alright, let's see.
You got it, bro. This one's gonna be max bro mode, extra sarcasm, and full-blown drama with detail. And yeah, we're pronouncing that bad boy like it's written, K-bar.
Oh, right here. I said that was funny, and you said, hey,
Appreciate you, bro, and thanks for the correction. Let's tighten this script up with the March purchase date for accuracy, because when you're roasting someone, you gotta be factually lethal, too. Here's the updated voiceover script, with that spicy new detail baked in and the sarcasm still sizzling. Voiceover script updated, Kohberger's How to Guide on Getting Caught, with correct K-bar purchase date in March. Cue ominous true crime beat. Yo, so check this out. Crime scene, 4 college students murdered in their own home, middle of the night, no forced entry, straight up horror movie. And what do the cops find? A K-bar knife sheath, just chilling on a victim's bed like it paid rent and forgot to clean up. And whose DNA is on the snap? Brian Kohberger, not a little. Not maybe, his actual touch DNA. Like he said, yo, let me leave a little souvenir. Let's rewind to March 2022. Brian's just out here on Amazon like, yeah, let me grab one military-grade K-bar combat knife and while I'm at it, toss in a balaclava. Gotta stay warm while looking like a suspect. Like, bro, what even is your shopping algorithm? You may also like tactical gloves, a burner phone, and 25 to life. Fast forward to the night of the murders. One of the surviving roommates opens her door and sees a man in all black, face covered in a balaclava. Creepy. Silent. Just walking by like it's casual. She can't see his face. But what does she catch? Bushy, eyebrows, unmistakable. Like, these weren't just normal brows. These were angry birds in fight mode. And who's got eyebrows that practically need their own zip code? Yeah, you already know. And then there's the Elantra saga. Between 3:30 and 4:20 a.m., a white Hyundai Elantra with no front plate is seen circling the murder scene like it's GPS glitched. Right after the murders, boom, cars seen flying out of town like it just robbed a bank. And guess what? Brian drives a white Elantra. Also, missing the front plate. Because why not make it easy, right? Now the phone, at 3 a.m. it's pinging 10 miles away. Then right before the murders, goes dark, just straight up disappears from the network. Comes back online after the murders like, hey guys, sorry, my signal dropped during that whole quadruple homicide thing. Bros studying criminology and forgot step 1. Don't look guilty on every available data point. Alright, let's run it back. Bought the knife in March. Bought the balaclava bushy eyebrows citing DNA on the K-bar sheath. White Elantra.
I'm gonna do it again. Let's see. Alright. I'm gonna have to redo it again. I don't know why. That was just one of the funniest things I've ever read. I'm gonna have to take that, whatever that text was, and redo it. That one up above when he said, oh God. Alright, let's see. Is this the new one? Alright, here we go. You want the ultimate?
Oh, bro, say less. You want the ultimate, detailed, sarcastic as hell bro mode breakdown with all the receipts? You got it. We're going full roast chicken on this one. Crispy, seasoned, and absolutely cooked. Voiceover script. Deluxe bro mode.
Here we
Brian
go, man.
Kohberger, the criminology PhD who solved his own case. For the prosecution. Cue ominous beat. True crime meets trap remix. Yo. So here's the tale of Brian Kohberger, a PhD student in criminology who said, you know what would be super smart? Committing a quadruple homicide while leaving a trail of evidence like I'm Hansel and Gretel with a digital paper trail. Let's start at the scene, shall we? Cops walk into the crime scene, 4 brutally murdered college students. It's bad. Like, horror movie meets FBI profiler conference level bad. They're scanning the room and bam, right there on a bed, a K-bar knife sheath. That's right, tactical, military style. Big I shop at Army Surplus and think it makes me mysterious energy. And not just any sheath. This thing's got DNA on the snap. Touch DNA. Kohberger's. Like my guy, you didn't just drop evidence, you left your calling card. You basically said, hey investigators, bet you won't solve this in the first 12 minutes of CSI Idaho. But wait, the man came with receipts. Literally. Because back in March 2022, our dude hops on Amazon and orders a K-bar combat knife, a black balaclava, and probably a side of, I'm definitely not planning anything suspicious sauce. Like, bro, did your order confirmation email say, thanks for your purchase, a SWAT team will be with you shortly? That's not just a red flag, that's a red flare being launched into the night sky while you wave a banner that says, Exhibit A, eyewitness moment incoming. One of the surviving roommates? She opens her door in the middle of the night and sees a dude in black, balaclava, hoodie, creepin'. Couldn't see the face, but she gets a real good look at one feature, the eyebrows. And bro, she doesn't say bushy, she basically says the dude was 60% eyebrow, 40% murder. Guess who's got the bushiest brows in a 5-state radius? That's right, Kohberger. His eyebrows need their own zip code. They should be paying property taxes. Now cue the Elantra cinematic universe. Between 3:30 a.m. and 4:20 a.m., there's a white Hyundai Elantra seen multiple times near the crime scene, just rolling through the neighborhood like it's scouting for parking at a crime. Then, right after the murders, the car is seen speeding away like it's trying to beat rush hour out of hell. Guess who owns a white Elantra? Ding ding ding, Brian. No front plate, just like the one on camera. Because hey, why not look extra sus while commuting to a quadruple homicide? And we get to the phone data.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. At 3 a.m. Kohberger's phone is pinging 10 miles out. Okay, maybe innocent, but then? Radio silence. Phone goes dark, like fully off-the-grid Jason Bourne cosplay. Then, just after the murders. Hey guys, I'm back. What are we doing here, bro? You study criminology. You write about criminal minds, and your grand plan was, I'll just turn off my phone. They'll never suspect me. That's like robbing a bank and leaving your driver's license on the counter because you needed a coaster. Let's assemble the clue board, shall we? Knife, purchased. Balaclava, purchased. Eyebrows, weaponized. DNA, on the sheath. Car, matches. Car footage, everywhere. Phone off during crime? Classic. Alibi? Nah, bro. He ghosted harder than your Tinder date. What's the defense strategy gonna be? He's just a passionate knife collector with inconveniently memorable eyebrows, who enjoys late-night silent drives in his unregistered Elantra during quadruple homicide hours. Totally checks out. Final verdict, bro? This ain't circumstantial. This is cinematic. This is Spotify True Crime Podcast meets 4K evidence reel, meets Amazon order history from hell. Brian Kohberger didn't just leave clues. He turned his crime into a syllabus, wrote the case, starred in it, and left his DNA as the signature on the title page. Drop beat, cut to black. That's not how you get away with murder, bro. That's how you become the season finale. Let me know if you want this cut into segments, turned into a TikTok script, or paired with visuals for a reel. We're talking viral content with prosecutorial power. You want the ultimate, detailed, sarcastic as hell bro mode breakdown with all the receipts? You got it. We're going full roast chicken on this one. Crispy.
Yeah, man, that is just... Where's the eyebrow? One of the surviving roommates, she opens her door in the middle of the night and sees a dude in a black balaclava hoodie creeping. Couldn't see the face, but she gets a real good look at one feature, the eyebrows. And bro, she doesn't say bushy. She basically says the dude was 60% eyebrow and 40% murder. Where the hell where does this check get? I mean, I'm not even sure how you came up with that one. It's so good. Oh, my God. It is. Well, it's amazing because my argument with ChatGPT, they saw the reality of the case.
This is hilarious.
And then,
Awesome
you
job.
know, it's like, it's just amazing. I mean, they just nailed it. Let's see. I'm trying to find, there was one, eyebrows are, no, that's not it. Let's see. That one there. Surviving roommate wakes up and sees a guy in all black, face covered inside the house. Can't see the face, but what does she see? bushy eyebrows, thick enough to qualify as an emotional support as emotional support animals. And if you've seen Kohberger, yeah, eyebrows for days. Those things show up to court before he does. Oh man, I think they were consulting Zozo on these things, right? That's just amazing. Eyebrows so memorable. Eyebrows so memorable, they could apply for a driver's license. And if you've seen Kohberger, yeah, bro, man's got forehead forests. Those brows are built different. They enter the courtroom before he does. This is the one right here. I think I'm gonna play this one. Where is that? Right there. Here we go.
You got it, bro. This one's gonna be max bro mode, extra sarcasm, and full-blown drama with detail. And yeah, we're pronouncing that bad boy like it's written, K-bar. This is the kind of voiceover that makes people put their burrito down and say, yo, no way. Voiceover, The K-Bar Chronicles, Kohberger's how-to guide on getting caught. Cue dramatic music like true crime meets action movie trailer. Voiceover, sarcastic bro. Yo. So let me hit you with one of the wildest self-snitch stories in modern crime history. We've got Brian Kohberger, a criminology PhD student, also known as Mr. I study crimes, so I'll definitely get away with it. Plot twist? He did everything you're not supposed to do. Like, he turned How Not to Get Caught, Volume 1, into his personal to-do list. Alright, so check this out. We're at the scene of a quadruple homicide. Brutal, silent, horrifying. And what's just chilling there, on a victim's bed? A K-bar knife sheath, military style, tan, tactical, left behind like it was on display at REI. But wait, it gets spicier. On the little snap button of that K-bar sheath, Brian Kohberger's DNA. Bro didn't just leave a clue. He left a biological autograph. Now let's rewind to January 2022, almost a full year before the murders. What's our boy Brian doing? Oh, just casually browsing Amazon like, yeah, I'll take one K-bar combat knife. And ooh, a black balaclava too, just in case I want to cosplay as suspicious guy in a driveway at 4 a.m. Straight up criminology major starter pack. Fast forward to the night of the murders. A surviving roommate wakes up, opens her door, and sees a man in black, wearing a balaclava, just casually walking through the house like it's his shift at Murder Depot. She doesn't see his full face, but guess what she does see? Bushy eyebrows. Eyebrows so memorable they could apply for a driver's license. And if you've seen Kohberger? Yeah, bro, man's got forehead forests. Those brows are built different. They enter the courtroom before he does. And now, cue the white Elantra arc. Between 3:30 and 4:20 a.m., a white Hyundai Elantra with no front plate is seen lurking around the crime scene like it's shopping for alibis. Then, right after 4:20 a.m., that same Elantra's caught flying out of town like it just remembered it left the oven on. And guess what? Kohberger owns a white Elantra. No front plate, registered to his parents. He drove it across the country days later like he's in a true crime road trip documentary. But hold up, you want peak sketch? Phone goes dark. At 3 a.m., it's pinging 10 miles out. Then, boom, dead silence. Not a ping, not a text, not a breath. Phone's like, nah bro, I don't exist right now. And just as suddenly, after the crime, ding. Hi, I'm back, yo, what are the odds? A criminology student, a dude who literally teaches about cell phone tracking, thinks he can just turn it off and go stealth mode. You're not Jason Bourne, my guy. You're not slick. You're basically giving cops a commercial break. Let's run the totally innocent checklist. Bought the knife? Yup. Bought the balaclava? Absolutely. Eyewitness saw a dude wearing that exact gear? Mm-hmm. Dude had mega brows? Check. DNA on the K-bar sheath? Oh yeah. Matching car creeping the scene? That too. Car seen bolting after the murders? Bingo. Phone conveniently goes dark during the crime? Textbook. No alibi? Of course not. And bro, all of this from a guy with a master's in criminology who's working on a PhD. Bro, You were supposed to study the criminal mind, not speedrun your own conviction. And what's the defense strategy gonna be? It wasn't his knife, someone else left a K-bar sheath with his DNA on it, and another guy with big eyebrows in the same Elantra committed the crime. Sure, January. Dramatic pause, this ain't a whodunit. This is a he done it, and he gift wrapped the receipts case. Case closed, my dude. Drop gavel sound, music fades, cue true crime theme sting.
Alright, let's see if we can do that. Turn the script into a rap. Can it do that? Oh wow, is it gonna do it?
Want me to actually voice this for you? I can record it in different tones, true crime serious, sarcastic bro, or podcast host. Just say the word and we'll get this content rolling. This one's gonna be max bro mode, extra sarcasm, and full-blown drama with detail. And yeah, we're pronouncing that bad boy like it's written, K-bar. This is the kind of voiceover that makes people put their burrito down and say, yo, no way. Voiceover, the K-bar Chronicles, Kohberger's how-to guide on getting caught. Cue dramatic music like true crime meets action movie trailer. Voiceover sarcastic bro. Yo. So let me hit you with one of the wildest self-snitch stories in modern crime history. We've got Brian Kohberger, a criminology PhD student, also known as Mr. I study crime, so I'll Hey, say less, bro. It's rap mode time. We're turning this whole roast into bars on bars, with that classic sarcastic bro energy baked into every line. Think true crime mixtape meets diss track, and Brian Kohberger just caught the beat down in rhyme form. Breadcrumbs and browse, the Kohberger rap roast. Beat, mid-tempo trap beat, dramatic piano, true crime ambiance, optional chorus hook at the end if you want a repeat section for TikTok. Verse 1. The scene is set. Yo, it's 4 a.m. and the scene is tight. House full of students, silent night. Cops roll in like, what the hell? 4 bodies down, college town spell. What they find? Yo, it's straight up wild. K-bar sheath laying out in style. Not hidden, not tossed, not left in the trees. It's sitting on the bed like, check me please. Verse 2, DNA don't lie. Snap of the sheath got that touch DNA. Whose is it? BK, no delay. Not a maybe, not a H.M., not a cousin or friend. It's Brian Kohberger on the murder blend. And yo, in March 22, Amazon be poppin', K-bar and cart, man's really shopping. Balaclava 2? What a suspicious haul, looking like he prepped for a stealth kill crawl. Verse 3, eyewitness eyebrows. Roommate peeking out the door, saw a dude all black, creeping the floor. Balaclava on, yeah, face was ghosted, but them bushy eyebrows? Bro was roasted. Eyebrows thick like carpet rolls. Eyebrows bold like they got their own goals. She ain't need a lineup, just one clue. Brows said, hey, it's me, nice to see you. Verse 4, Elantra energy. 3:30 to 4:20, white Elantra lurkin', no front plate, that car was workin'. Seen spinning blocks like it's got a plan, then speeds off fast like, catch me if you can. Guess who owns that whip? Oh yeah, same dude, car so sus, even series like, rude. He dipped from the scene like a sketchy Uber, trying to get ghost like it's Phantom Maneuver. Verse 5, phone's gone missing. Phone's on at 3, pinging 10 miles out, then it goes like, peace, I'm out. Goes dark during murders. Reboots at dawn. That's not low-key, that's just come on. You study crime, my guy. You took the class and still left clues like you wanted to pass. Should have known better, you're the crim PhD. Instead, you wrote a thesis on please arrest me.
Why is this stuff down below it here? Oh, there's another... Oh, the next verse.
Verse 6, the wrap-up roast. Knife, bought it. Mask, copped it. Brows, iconic. DNA, dropped it. Car, matching. Footage, catchin'. Phone, suspicious. Alibi, lacking. And the defense gonna say he just got framed? Bro, this ain't Monopoly, this is real-life flames. You ain't slick. You ain't stealth. This ain't The Wire. You left your whole Google history in the fire. Outro hook, repeatable for choruses. Breadcrumbs and brows. Left the whole trail. DNA drip in the Amazon sale. Criminology king with a plan so flawed. You solved your own case. Give the man a nod. You want this in audio form? I can help you get it recorded, find a beat, or break it into parts for a TikTok bar for bar drop. Want to go full diss track video? Let's make it. We're turning this whole roast into bars on bars, with that classic sarcastic bro energy baked into every line. Think true crime mix.
Does it work for this? Oh. It was 4 a.m. and the scene is tied. I don't know if that's the right beat. Doom, 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 doom. I think you need a quicker one. Ding. Yeah, I need a different. Well, they can't give it to me though. And didn't ask you, Cindy. You always jump in when there's a rap. Oh, that one doesn't work, Ray. That one doesn't work. I don't know. I'm just listening to it. Anyways, for everybody who missed the earlier part of the show, you blew it. Okay, because we were, it was just awesome. Okay. Yeah, it was hilarious. A lot of laughing, or at least I was. I couldn't control myself. Maybe I'll look at the rap later. Maybe come up with something. Yeah. So anyways, that's it, you guys. I think that's going to do it for tonight. I think I've been on here for, well, almost exactly 3 hours. Crazy, right? Anyways, if you should go back about an hour from now, prior and listen. It's crazy. I mean, the thing is the way this show started off was that we brought up one of the documents, the Cyraid crap, and I said, what value does this have? And they said, well, it's really valuable. It has this, this, this. And I go, well, what if I told you this? That Kohberger drives a wide Elantra missing a front license plate, and there was one driving around the scene. He goes, well, that would. Then they sort of started changing their opinion. Well, that's pretty interesting. And then we had a little argument. Then after that, I said, well, also, a K-bar knife sheath was left at the scene that had his DNA on it, and he had purchased a K-bar knife that year. And then it just, the whole tone of ChatGPT started shifting over to the point where it's absolutely, you know, it's almost dumbfoundingly guilty. And then we had him speak in bro mode, and then it just got hilarious. I mean, it was like sarcastic and all this stuff, and just absolutely the same stuff that we all think, right? It's kind of what I do sometimes when I try to explain how unlucky he was, and then he just had all these crazy descriptions for the what do you call it, the eyebrows, just unbelievable. He can't, his eyebrows came into the room 5 feet before he did or something, you know. It was just crazy. So anyways, I think that's going to do it, you guys. I mean, is there actually, how many people are watching here? I don't even know. I don't know if there's really, I mean, there's this thing that goes like that, but it's going to do the Bart Simpson. I think there's really about 500 people. Hey, thanks, Timothy Moore. Come on, Cindy. Find me the right beat, Cindy. Send it to me. Well, it's just kind of, it's interesting is, you know, I switched I wonder if it'll use what I just fed it in future arguments, because it brings stuff up that I didn't bring up, right? Like it talks about things that it knows from other, you know, questions or whatever regarding the case, because it talked about, you know, 4 people in their room were killed, and I didn't say that. None of that's in the document that I uploaded. So it obviously knows other things. And he said that his the car was registered to his parents. Is that true? I don't remember that part. I mean, I know he was going to go get the plates for Washington. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Doom, 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 doom. Yeah, I don't think that's a real number again. Yeah. Let me scroll it up here. I think this is at the very top. It kind of explains. Summarize this court document into a PDF. And it says, sure, I can do that. Here's a summary. And it read it all the way through, all these points. And then I said, something like, sure, give me a visual timeline. Then I said, what relevance would this have in the Kohberger case if he turned his phone off? I said, great question. If Kohberger turned his phone off during the time, and then it went through all these different elements again, and then I followed up with another question, is Cy-Ray credible? And then he said, Cy-Ray appears to be highly credible. And then down here below, I said, are there any cases of Cy-Ray where his credibility was in question? And he goes, yes. Cy-Ray's credibility has been questioned in certain legal cases. And it went through and listed all of these things. Where one judge actually said, you are not credible. Okay, and then down here I said, come on, ChatGPT, a minute ago you said he was very credible. And then ChatGPT said, you're right to call that out, and it's totally fair reaction. Here's real talk. Credibility is context dependent. A person can be highly credible in one setting and questioned in another. That's especially true for expert witnesses who often become lightning rods. So how do we square this? Why I initially said he's credible. Cy-Ray has deep expertise. He's testified over 100 times. He's built widely used tools. But yes, some courts have rejected his testimony. In Colorado versus Jones, the court excluded his testimony, saying his software tracks lacked scientific reliability. The judge went as far as saying Ray isn't credible. Other experts, like RF engineers, have critiqued his methods, not necessarily saying he's dishonest, but that his tech isn't reliable enough for legal conclusions. And bottom line, yes, Cy-Ray has the credentials and experience to be called an expert, but no, that doesn't make him bulletproof. Courts have questioned his methodology and even his credibility, especially when it comes to how he analyzes and presents data. In this Kohberger case, the defense is using him not to plot locations, but to challenge the handling and disclosure of key data, which may play better than if he were trying to introduce new location evidence. And then I said, summarize another PDF. I guess we moved on from there. Sure, go ahead. Da, da, da. Here's a summary. Purpose of the filing. The expert's opinion are vague. I said, if Kohberger's phone was turned off during the crucial crime window, how is that relevant? Because up here, it talked about, his phone pinging during the crime window. And I said, if his phone turned off during the crucial time window, how is that relevant? And then they said, let's see.
Totally fair to ask, if Kohberger's phone was turned off, how could this dispute over FBI agent Balance's vague expert testimony and AT&T records still matter? The answer, a lot more than you might expect. Here's why it's still relevant. 1. The phone was not off the whole night. The affidavit points to AT&T handoff data for Kohberger's phone between 2:30 a.m. and 3 a.m. on the night of the murders. During the window, the crimes are believed to have occurred. If his phone made any connection during this time, even briefly, that could be hugely important, especially if it placed him away from the crime scene. The defense claims this handoff data is exculpatory, but was either omitted or downplayed in FBI agent Balance's.
Yeah, then I came down and did I said wrong. The crime occurred, he said up above, the crime occurred between a certain time frame that was wrong. And I said, wrong, the crime occurred between 4:08 and 4:21. You're absolutely right. The core crime window is between 4:08 and 4:21. Thanks for calling that out, and that's actually makes the defense argument even more interesting because Cy-Ray affidavit highlights AT&T handoff data And then he goes through all this other crap again. And then I said, his phone was only 10 miles away at 3 a.m. Because he made it sound like it would be impossible. And he goes, right, and that's huge in context. If Brian Kohberger's phone was only 10 miles away from the crime scene at 3 a.m. and the murder occurred between 4:08 and 4:21, then here's what that implies. He had plenty of time to get there. 10 miles, 15 minutes of driving in rural Idaho at that time of night. That puts him well within striking distance before the murder. So just being 10 miles away at 3 a.m. is not an alibi. So now I've switched. Now they're seeing this new information coming in that it was out of that filing, didn't have it in there. Defense needs more than that. The defense can stop at he was 10 miles away an hour before. They have to. And then, anyways, let me move down to the next question. Then I said, even if he was heading in the opposite direction, he had plenty of time to turn around after turning his phone off and head to where the crime occurred. Kohberger drives a white Elantra that is missing its front license plate. It knew that I meant front. Between 3:30 and 4:21, a white Elantra missing its front license plate was seen in the area of the crime, and even, I left out another word, speeding away. How does that affect your logic? And they said, now
we're getting deep into the intersection of phone data and physical evidence. And this is the kind of nuance that really matters in a courtroom. You're absolutely right. Even if his phone data shows he was heading in the opposite direction at 3 a.m., the timeline and physical surveillance evidence make it entirely plausible that he turned around, turned his phone off, and drove to the crime scene. Let's unpack this logically. The Elantra plus no phone equal to the real problem for the defense. Fact: a white Hyundai Elantra missing its front plate was seen multiple times between 3:30 a.m. and 4:21 a.m. in the immediate area of the crime. Fact: Kohberger owned a white Elantra and his vehicle was missing the front plate at the time. Fact: his phone goes dark, conveniently, during this same window. Fact: the vehicle is seen speeding away just after 4:20 a.m., right when the murders ended. So, here's how that hits the defense. 1. Circumstantial convergence. Phone off. Car matching his. Right place. Right time. It paints a picture that's hard to explain innocently, even if there's no direct location data placing him inside the house. 2. Phone data become...
All right. Well, after I heard that, I go, I don't even think we listened to the rest of it. Then I said, on one of the beds of a victim, a K-bar knife sheath was left on the bed that had Kohberger's touch DNA on it. Kohberger purchased a K-bar knife on Amazon. It should have been March. Doesn't really matter. In January 2022, how does that change your logic? And then he said, then here we go.
That's a game changer, and honestly, it changes everything from a purely evidentiary and legal strategy standpoint. You now have direct physical evidence connecting Kohberger to the crime scene. A Ka-bar knife sheath was found on a victim's bed. It contained touch DNA that matches Kohberger. Kohberger had purchased a Ka-bar knife on Amazon in January 2022. So what does that mean legally? This is no longer a purely circumstantial case. Phone data, vehicle surveillance, and even suspicious behavior can be explained away in court. That's what good defense attorneys do. But this is direct physical evidence at the scene. It puts Kohberger's DNA on an object left behind in a private controlled space where only the killer should have had access.
Yeah, and it's just that, then it goes through and explains how devastating it is. And that's why we always keep saying this. The Kohbergers leave out the information that's crucial for logical minds. The YouTubers that make the videos. Then I said down here, I said, make me the visual web. So they made a web. And then I said, also, one of the surviving roommates saw a man with bushy eyebrows. However, the rest of his face was covered by a balaclava. Kohberger purchased a balaclava in January of 2022. How does that affect the logic? Then it's like...
That detail adds even more weight to the circumstantial and physical evidence already stacking up. And it further closes the gap between eyewitness observation and Kohberger's actions and purchases. Let's break this down. New fact added to the web. One of the surviving roommates saw a man in the house wearing a balaclava with bushy eyebrows visible, the only identifiable facial feature. Kohberger purchased a balaclava in January 2022. So now we have a suspect seen in a balaclava. The suspect had bushy eyebrows. Kohberger has bushy eyebrows, and he had purchased a balaclava months earlier. Why this strengthens the case against him? 1. Eyewitness description plus owned gear equal to strong correlation. Even though the witness couldn't see the full face, the bushy eyebrows become a critical identifying feature, and Kohberger fits that feature. Plus, the fact that he owned the exact kind of head covering seen in the house? That narrows the odds dramatically. It's no longer just someone in a mask, it's someone in a balaclava with bushy eyebrows, and Kohberger owns both of those attributes. 2. Prior purchase indicates planning. He bought the balaclava nearly a year before the crime. This could be interpreted as premeditation, especially if tied with his cob bar knife purchase. A habit of acquiring tactical or stealth gear, or at minimum.
Right, so then it just kept going through it again. Down here it said, update the visual web again, so they gave me that. Then I said, can you write that bro-like? And then this is where it just started getting hilarious. I mean, listen to this.
Absolutely. Here's the bro-style breakdown of everything we just mapped out. Alright bro, here's how it's all stacking up. So boom, they find a K-bar knife sheath on the bed next to a murdered victim. That's already sketch. But guess what? Kohberger's DNA is on it. Yeah, not just some DNA, his, not in the house, just on the weapon sheath chilling on the bed. Now let's back it up. What else we got? My dude bought that exact kind of knife back in January 2022 on Amazon. That ain't random. He also bought a balaclava. Same kind of thing the surviving roommate said the guy was wearing. All she could see were bushy eyebrows, and bro, Kohberger's eyebrows are basically a logo. A white Hyundai Elantra, no front plate just like his, is seen creeping the block between 3:30 and 4:20 a.m. Same car is seen peeling out right after the murders. Meanwhile, Kohberger's phone is like, nah, I'm out, turned off exactly when all this is going down. And then what? That same dude, with the matching car, matching knife, matching headgear, and matching eyebrows, has no alibi. Not just weird vibes, we're talking forensic-level receipts. So what's the vibe? This ain't just, well, maybe. Its phone goes dark, cars on camera, DNA's at the scene, and the man's literally shopping like he's prepping a stealth op. You'd need a full Marvel-level twist to explain all that away. Want this whole vibe as a graphic for a TikTok or Insta slide? Just say the word, bro. Alright, bro, here's how it's all stacking up.
Because then I said, rewrite it again with more detail. But I think it was the one after that that was way more funny. Add even more sarcasm and detail. Maybe this one. Okay, here we go.
Bet, bro. We're going full sarcastic true crime roast mode on this one. Detail cranked, sarcasm dialed in, and we're throwing shade like it's cross-examination at WrestleMania. Yeah, bro, I'm just a totally innocent criminology PhD who accidentally left my murder gear at the scene, no big deal. Alright, so check this. It's November 13th, 2022, early morning, real chill vibes unless you're inside that house in Moscow, Idaho where 4 people just got brutally murdered. Cops roll up, start processing the scene, and what do they find? Oh, nothing major, just a military-grade cob bar knife sheath left on the victim's bed, like the killer said, souvenir for ya, enjoy the DNA. They test it, and bam. Kohberger's touch DNA is right there on the snap button, like it was waiting to be discovered with a neon sign that said property of Brian. But wait, there's more. 'Cause our guy's been pre-ordering guilt. This wasn't just some rando with a taste for tactical cosplay. Back in January 2022, my man hits Amazon and buys a Ka-Bar combat knife, just for fun. You know, nothing screams normal hobby like battlefield weaponry. A black balaclava, because apparently, how to look like a suspect 101 was part of his syllabus. Bro's Amazon cart looked like a starter kit for Call of Duty, real-life edition. Eyewitness time, aka the bushy brow bandit. One of the surviving roommates? She opens her door in the middle of the night and sees a guy dressed in black, face fully covered by a balaclava, except the eyebrows. She remembers them. Thick, bushy, eyebrows that don't quit. Not kind of bushy, like Instagram filter-level brows. The kind that enter the room 5 seconds before he does. And wouldn't you know it? Kohberger's face is like 75% eyebrow. Enter the most wanted Elantra in America. Between 3:30 and 4:20 a.m., a white Hyundai Elantra with no front plate is seen circling the neighborhood like it's Ubering for death. Caught on surveillance cameras. Seen repeatedly near the house. Speeding away from the crime scene right after 4:20 a.m. And bro, who just so happens to own a white Elantra missing its front plate? Yeah, Brian, our bald-faced eyebrow king. Phone goes ghost like it's ducking a toxic ex. Earlier that night, his phone's pinging like normal, about 10 miles away. Then, goes totally dark. Not a text, not a ping, not a Snapchat ghost emoji, nothing. Goes off before the murders, turns back on after the murders. What a convenient little blackout. Defense gonna say what? Oh, he just likes to conserve battery life during the witching hour? Miss me with that, bro. This ain't airplane mode. This is alibi avoidance mode. Let's tally the coincidences like it's a murder-themed bingo card. Bought the exact knife. Bought the exact headgear, has the exact bushy eyebrows, has the matching car phone, goes dark during the crime, DNAs on the murder. Weapon sheath, car seen speeding from the scene, no alibi, majoring in freaking criminology. This dude literally studied how not to get caught, and did everything you're not supposed to do. Genius's defense strategy? At this point, defense gotta go with the sheath was planted by the knife fairy. Those weren't his eyebrows, they were prosthetics. Coincidence. Lots of people drive suspicious Elantras, wear balaclavas, own combat knives, and leave DNA at murder scenes. He's just a misunderstood academic with a flair for tactical aesthetics. Bro, come on. This isn't reasonable doubt. It's delusional optimism. Want this turned into a courtroom roast script, a YouTube monologue, or a TikTok voiceover? I'm ready to send it viral, bro. We're going full sarcastic. Absolutely, bro. Here's your courtroom roast script version. Picture it being delivered by a savage defense attorney who's just done with the nonsense, or a prosecutor with the swagger of a stand-up comic dropping heat in closing arguments. Courtroom roast, the people versus Brian Kohberger. Bangs gavel. Judge, counsel, you may proceed with closing. Prosecutor. Thank you, Your Honor. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, buckle up. Exhibit A. The sheath heard round the world. You know what most murderers don't do? They don't leave their knife sheath on the victim's bed like it's a hotel welcome gift. But this guy? He leaves a bar combat knife sheath sitting pretty on a blood-soaked comforter with his touch DNA on the snap. Just a little calling card like, hey, just in case you were wondering who did this, it's your boy Brian. Exhibit B, DNA, the universe's receipt. This wasn't some rando DNA. This wasn't, oh, maybe they brushed against each other once at a Starbucks. This was on the weapon accessory, in a house he had no reason to be in, next to a victim he didn't know. Explain that. Go ahead, I'll wait. Exhibit C, the Murderer Starter Pack Amazon Edition. In January 2022, Brian hops on Amazon and buys a Cobb bar knife, a black balaclava, because apparently the guy's New Year's resolution was become prime suspect in a quadruple homicide. He didn't just fall into suspicion, he one-click primed his way into it. Exhibit D, the brows that spoke. Now, let's talk about the roommate who survived. She opens her door and sees a man wearing a black balaclava, face covered, except the eyebrows. Thick, bushy, iconic. She didn't see a full face, but she saw those brows, and guess who's got the most memorable forehead foliage in Pennsylvania? Yeah, the defendant. His eyebrows walk into court 3 seconds before he does. Exhibit E, fast and furiously guilty. Meanwhile, around the same time, a white Hyundai Elantra, no front plate, is spotted casing the neighborhood between 3:30 and 4:20 a.m., right when the murders are happening. Then, boom, cars seen hauling out of the area at high speed right after 4:20. And what do we have here? Oh wow, the defendant owns a white Elantra, missing the front plate, registered to his parents, and he drove it across the country a few weeks later like he's in a witness protection speed run. Exhibit F, the Great Cell Phone Disappearing Act. At 3 a.m., his phone is pinging 10 miles out, cool. But then, goes completely dark. Like, oh snap, time to ghost the cops in real time. Phone stays off through the murder window, and magically comes back on after the killings. That's not coincidence. That's calculated. That's, I know what cell tower triangulation is because I'm literally a PhD student in criminology calculated. Let's stack this up. Knife, bought it. Mask, bought that too. Matching car, yup. DNA on the sheath, absolutely.
Yeah, what's the next one? Yeah, give me the voiceover format. Okay, then the do bro mode again with sarcasm and more detail, and pronounce K-bar as K-bar. All right, here we go.
You got it, bro. This one's gonna be max bro mode, extra sarcasm, and full-blown drama with detail. And yeah, we're pronouncing that bad boy like it's written, K-bar. This is the kind of voiceover that makes people put their burrito down and say, yo, no way. Voiceover, the K-bar Chronicles, Kohberger's how-to guide on getting caught. Cue dramatic music like true crime meets action movie trailer. Voiceover, sarcastic bro, yo. So let me hit you with one of the wildest self-snitch stories in modern crime history. We've got Brian Kohberger, a criminology PhD student, also known as Mr. I study crime, so I'll definitely get away with it. Plot twist? He did everything you're not supposed to do.
Well, anyways, you guys have heard them all. He does it every time. It does something else with the eyebrows. Let's see if maybe I'll just do the search on that. Okay. Want me to update the visual? Yeah, that was earlier. All she could see were bushy eyebrows, and bro Kohberger's eyebrows are basically a logo. She can't see the face, but she gets a good look at the guy's eyebrows. And yo, she says they were thick, bushy, unforgettable. Tell me that ain't Kohberger's face ID right there. His eyebrows got their own zip code. She remembers them thick, bushy eyebrows that don't quit. Not kind of bushy, like Instagram filter level brows. The kind that enter the room 5 seconds before he does. Yeah. She remembers them thick, bushy eyebrows that don't quit. Okay, we already did that one. Those weren't his eyebrows, they were prosthetics. The defense team. Yeah, it says, the eyebrows, thick, bushy, iconic. She didn't see a full face, but she saw those brows. And guess who's got the most memorable forehead foliage in Pennsylvania? Yeah, the defendant. His eyebrows walking into the court 3 seconds before he does. All right, let's see. Bushy eyebrows. Like the kind of brows that deserve their own area code. And guess who's got the most distinct pair of caterpillars north of the eyebrows line? Yep, Brian again. Bushy eyebrows so memorable they could apply for a driver's license. And if you've seen Kohberger, yeah, bro, man's got a forehead forest. Those brows are built different. They enter the courtroom before he does. That one's so good. Look at that. Bushy eyebrows. Eyebrows so memorable, they could apply for a driver's license. And have you seen Kohberger's? Yeah, bro. Man's got forehead forest. Those brows are built different. They enter the courtroom before he does. Let's see. Bushy eyebrows, thick enough to qualify as an emotional support animal. See, that was one I liked too. Let's go back up to the... Let me hear this one. Right here. Emotional support animals. His eyebrows.
I can't record audio myself, but I can give you a ready-to-record script that you or a voice actor can read in full sarcastic bro energy. You could also feed it into a voice generator with the right tone. Here's how to deliver it. Tone guide. Delivery style, casual, cocky, sarcastic. Energy, confident, like you're roasting your buddy for getting caught doing something stupid. pacing, mid to fast with dramatic pauses for punchlines. Emphasis, hit words like K-bar, DNA, bushy eyebrows, Amazon cart, and no alibi with extra flavor. Voiceover script, sarcastic bro edition, Kohberger's how to guide on getting caught. Music playing, suspenseful true crime beat. Yo, so picture this. We're at the scene of a quadruple homicide. Tragic, horrific, silent. And what's casually chillin' there, on the victim's bed? A K-bar knife sheath. Yeah, bro, military grade, tan, tactical vibes, just sitting there like it paid rent. And whose DNA is on it? Brian freaking Kohberger, touch DNA, on the snap of the sheath. Like, hey cops, here's a personalized receipt with my name on it. But wait, it gets juicier. Back in January 2022, what's our guy buying on Amazon? A K-bar combat knife, a black balaclava. Because nothing says, I'm totally not a murderer, like shopping for tactical gear while getting your criminology PhD. My dude's Amazon cart looked like he was prepping for a real-life episode of Criminal Minds. Now fast forward. Surviving roommate wakes up and sees a guy in all black, face covered, inside the house. Can't see the face, but what does she see? Bushy, eyebrows, thick enough to qualify as emotional support animals. And if you've seen Kohberger, yeah, eyebrows for days. Those things show up to court before he does. Let's talk Elantra. Between 3:30 and 4:20 a.m., a white Hyundai Elantra with...
Well, anyways, there you go. There's some of the replay. But anyways, thanks everybody for being here. We got the... Let me do this little spin here for the notebook. Let's see. I hope I got everybody in there. Maybe I didn't. I probably missed some people, but just, you know. It's hard too when you're doing a show. So we've got Donna. I think I missed some of the buy me a coffees. But anyways, thank you guys. Appreciate it. Maybe I can do it. Maybe I'll do it again. Hold on. I'll add the coffee. I can do it. Let's see. Got hold on. Uh-oh, that's not what I meant. Oh shit. There we go. Megan's zone. Megan's zone. Alright. Well, anyways, I tried. It's just too late. But I want to say thanks to everybody. So thanks Sharon on the Buy Me a Coffee. And we also had Lisa Valenzuela and Justin. And then I think there was a Venmo that came in? Hold on. From Becky Marchand. Right? I think that was, yeah, that was Becky today. And then, man, that was so funny earlier. That was just crazy. Cindy should have been there for that. That was when the funny part was. Thanks, SS. But she always gets me, and when I do a rap, I lose my confidence. She always goes, "Gray, that beat isn't the right beat for the," you know. And then I'm like, oh shit. So SS, Donna, then Mallory Beavers, Cheryl, Annie, Jim Lawn, Von Dawson, Naomi Rollins, Cinnamon Sin Freak, Self-Esteem, Alley Cake, Puddle, or let's see, Pud Money 827 with a cat eye. Then we had Alley Cake gifted a membership, Naomi, M. Morgan, Annabelle. Yeah, she wanted me to do bro mode. I did it. That was M. Morgan. And then Annabelle, then Moofies, Michelle H., K. Me, Alley Cake gifted a membership, then Kate, then Walker, Me, Linda Howe, and then we had CR gifted a membership. Then Sarah Williams became a new member. Then Eden Fox. Then CR gifted 5. And then we have Alley Cake, Amber Maiden, Grace Full Klutz. And thanks everybody for and welcome all the new members, and thanks for people buying them. Then Nana, Caroline, CR, Christy, Me, Suzf, Self Esteem gifted 1. Then I gifted 5. Then 2 Curious Cats. Then Jeannie Gaigoy gifted 1. Christy gifted a membership. Then Alex gifted 5 memberships. Then M. Morgan, Suzf, Jeannie Marie, Eve Loves God, Cheryl Moran gifted 5. Then M. Morgan, Me, M. Morgan again. Then Patty Mills, Eve Loves God, and then M10, Mark Willis, M. Morgan, Pam from New York, and Timothy Moore. Anyways, thanks everybody. Hope you guys. I thought that show was pretty fun and interesting too, right? I mean, we went through the documents, but then I think it's really telling when you got a thing that's pure logic like ChatGPT, and you're sort of having this discussion when it's only given specific information that's in those documents, but then when you provide the context with it, it then starts realizing that the logic points in a different direction dramatically. I mean, as soon as you talk about the white Elantra, it got more curious, and then the DNA on the knife sheath in the room, that's when it almost naturally started getting sarcastic back, like what the hell's the defense, and then it got really funny when we switched it over to bro mode. So that was pretty cool. All right, everybody, thank you for being here and watching the show. If you could hit that like button, it seems like it'd be pretty easy to hit that damn like button. We've only got 400 and something likes, but unfortunately, we got more people watching, so let's hit that like button right now. And hit that like button 10, 20, 25, 30. Hit that like button 40. Use your nose, use your toes, whatever blows. Hit that like button, hit that like button. It's so damn easy to do. It's one of the easiest things to do in the world. Well, I think if Zozo listens to the repeat of this, she'll be laughing the whole time, because that's her humor right there. I could just tell. Anyways, thanks everybody. We'll see you guys later. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there. And I wanted to. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a crime dissector, flag rejector. I'm a certified human lie detector. That doesn't sound too positive, Niffies. Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector. Memorable. Crime sector. Indifferent. Here's my nectar. Professor Grayl's gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a pup protector. Fool deflector, interceptor, and I'm meaner than a spectre with a vector on his pector. With all respect, ya. Just remember I've a temper fucking check ya. I have no agenda, I'm no pretender, and I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender. Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody? Talk to you later.
We are all Richard Allen!
Correct.